graduated from Rowan University in the spring of 2022 with a sports communication and media degree. I got to actually call minor league baseball and G League basketball games while I was in school. And then I graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I went to NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And as much as I loved that experience, I miss putting on the headsets. I decided, you know what, talk is cheap. I have a laptop that's in my house, and so 21 months later, here we are, still on YouTube, calling games and building an incredible, loving community on here with the people that I call my Philly freaks with a capital P and a capital H. We go live for every single Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles game, and we do it like old school radio play-by-play style. I'm Jason Joseph, and this is Play-by-Play with JJ.
I showed a swung-on barrel. Get out to right field. Bye-bye, baseball.
That baby is long gone.
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you're all doing well and having yourselves a very fantastic Saturday night. It is a Saturday night. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely wild. My name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ, where we go live for Sixers basketball, Phillies baseball, and, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So yes, let's dive into things. First and foremost, let's say hello to everybody that's in the chat. Jane is here. What is up, Jane? What's going on, Katie? What's going on, Daniel? And, what is up, everybody? Doors was also here earlier. Hello, Doors. You're the man, dude. Thanks so much for always stopping by. Yes, let's dive into things. Actually, before I do dive into things, I wanted to let you guys know, just from a content creation scheduling standpoint. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Okay, that's better. Yes, I am going to be doing a Phillies spring training game. Season 3 for the Philadelphia Phillies does start tomorrow. I've thought about it. And I've thought about it. And after thinking about it for a while, I said, you know what, let's just at least do a couple. I did post a poll in my community tab on whether or not you guys feel like if we should do a full season or close or as many games as possible for spring training. I would love to get your thoughts on that. The poll, if one of my mods could do me a solid and just go to that tab and post that link in the community, I would appreciate that. Just post it on the live stream, or post it in the live chat. It's a community post that I made not too long ago. It's a poll, so post that if you can. I would appreciate that because I want to get your thoughts about that. But yeah, so tomorrow I am doing my very first spring training game, and season 3 of the Philadelphia Phillies is starting on YouTube on Play-by-Play with JJ. I'm excited. I'm very excited. What I'm not so excited about, but obviously we still have to cover this, right? The Sixers are not exciting. They are not exciting at all. They are 15 games under 500. And the sad part is that they are fighting for a 10 seed. And they can still get it, which is just very laughable in a lot of ways. The Chicago Bulls did lose tonight again to the Phoenix Suns. So the Sixers can actually be 1.5 games behind the Bulls if they win tonight. Now, who do they play? They play the Brooklyn Nets, and the Nets and the Sixers are tied for the 11th seed. There is no such thing as an 11th seed, but they are tied, and they're both 2.5 games behind the Bulls. So it's just interesting when you think about it from just that sort of perspective. That is where the Philadelphia 76ers are. That's where things stand right now as we speak. So, yeah, this is the last time that the Sixers are playing against the Brooklyn Nets. The last time that they played, the Nets won 100-96. That was the final score of that game, and that was on February 12th. So it was just 10 days ago before the All-Star break. No D'Angelo Russell tonight no Cam Thomas, and Noah Clowney is also out as well. And for the Sixers, they are missing Kyle Lowry, Jared McCain, Eric Gordon, and Justin Edwards. So Edwards will miss at least one more game. And they estimate that his return date will be on the 24th. So that's just an estimate on when he is going to return. So Cam Johnson, the last time that he faced the Sixers, he had 16 points. He was 1 for 5 from 3. He had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. But the problem was in that game, and it's been a problem throughout this whole entire season for the 76ers, is that they got out-rebounded. Did Quentin Grimes have 30 points in that game? He did. Did Kelly Oubre have 30 points in that game? He did. However, they gave up 22 to D'Angelo Russell, and D'Angelo's not playing today. They gave up, as we mentioned, 16 to Cam Johnson, 18 to Trendon Watford, and 13 to Nick Claxton. And Claxton also had 5 blocks and 11 rebounds in that game as well. So just something to keep your eye on. Jane, thanks so much for posting the poll. I really appreciate that. Shout out to my mods. Just saw that. Thank you. You're the best. So, again, I posted a poll in my community tab. I'm going to be calling my very first spring training game tomorrow. We're going to be starting Season 3 of the Phillies a little bit early. We didn't do spring training for the first 2 seasons, and we're just going to do a couple, which might turn into a lot, but I want to get your thoughts about that. I know that there's people out there that are like, you should cover them during spring training, and you should do as many games as you can, but I want to know who would tune in and what the vibe is, If y'all say yes, if we get a majority, then guess what? I listen to the community. And that's how it goes. Final score predictions on this game for the Philadelphia 76ers. Back to the basketball lens side of things. What is the final score? I think Brooklyn takes this one. I think that it'll be close in the first 3 quarters, and then Brooklyn, even though they're trying to lose this game too, they are. I don't see how they would want to try to win this game. They want to be one of those bottom 5 teams to try to get a high pick. But I think Brooklyn still pulls this out. Even without D'Angelo Russell and without Cam Thomas, I think that they pull it out 110 to 100. That is my final score prediction for tonight's game. 110 to 100. I will write that down right now. 110 to 100. Brooklyn. That's my thoughts. So the Sixers, they play the Nets tonight. Both teams are tied. As we mentioned, they're in 11th place in the Eastern Conference. Feels really weird saying that. They're 4th from last in the Eastern Conference. That sounds more apropos. But they are both 2.5 games behind the Chicago Bulls, or now 2 games behind the Chicago Bulls because the Bulls lost earlier today. And the Sixers actually, ironically, play the Bulls on Monday. So these next 2 games, I think that if they lose these next 2 games, and I said this against Boston, but I think legitimately speaking, and I would be shocked if the Sixers lose these next 2 games, you gotta pull the plug. I mean, this is like, I'm like 99% there. This is like the final 1%. This is the final 1%. So if they lose to the Nets and if they lose to the Bulls, it officially, please, 100% shut them down. Shut down Embiid. Shut down PG. I'm still 99% there. I want them to be shut down, but yeah, I hope that makes sense. I'm actually going 112 to 104 Sixers, even though it sounds crazy. No, I don't think that it does sound crazy, to be honest with you. Or I don't think that it sounds stupid, because the Nets are trying to tank. The Nets are trying to get a top 5 pick. They want to be in that lottery and get a high pick. That's what they're trying to do. That's where they're at. So I don't think it sounds crazy. I don't. Both teams are tied, and I don't think Brooklyn wants to win this. Some of the players want to win it, but I'm just saying the organization doesn't want them to win. So that's where I stand on things. So the Bulls lost earlier today, 121-117. Let me ask you this question. Does Daryl Morey deserve to be fired? Does Daryl Morey deserve to be fired for how this season has gone and for the other seasons that he's been here? Do you think that with his tenure that he's had as a 76ers president of basketball operations, does he deserve to get fired? If so, should it be after the season or should it be now? Please let me know. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. No, it's definitely true. I don't think that sounds stupid at all. I really don't. Should Daryl Morey be fired is the question. All right, that's what I want to know. What's up, Doors? How are you? What is up, Doors? How are you doing, my friend? Celtics versus Sixers, March 6th in Boston. Yeah. Yep. We'll be covering that game. We're still covering. I don't care if the Sixers go 0-82. The pros are under contracts. The pro broadcasters, they still do it. They still got a job to do. When the Chicago White Sox only won 30 games, did their broadcasters just quit? No. I know it's different on YouTube, and I have my own brand, but I still want to be consistent. And guess what? You know what's actually really great about this is that when the teams actually succeed, and we still continue to cover this team because we stuck through this grind, we're going to get rewarded, all of us. And it'll be great. It'll be really nice. So, yes, the Sixers are taking on the Brooklyn Nets at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will get you the starting lineups in just a few seconds. I'm trying to open up Twitter on the phone. I'm trying to turn on the notifications. There we go. And now we'll just open the app, and then we'll see who's in the starting lineups tonight for the 76ers and for the Brooklyn Nets, of course. As we mentioned, though, no D'Angelo Russell, no Cam Thomas either, and no Noah Clowney. So that's what we do know so far. All right. Warm up with Lonnie Walker. Happy birthday also to Dr. J. Dr. J, shout out to you. Dr. J, obviously one of the best Philadelphia 76ers players of all time, iconic player, changed the game and really brought a lot of joy into Philadelphia basketball. He really did. And so many people looked up to him, and he is really, honestly, the game isn't what it is today if it wasn't for Dr. J. So let's give Dr. J his flowers, and let's wish him a happy birthday. Thank you so much. We'll do that. So, happy birthday to Dr. J. How old is Dr. J, JJ? That's a very good question. How old is Dr. J? Dr. J today is 75 years old. He's 75 years old, man. Averaged 16.8 points per game in his career. Oh, wait, that was during the 86-87 season. I'm so sorry. But a champion nonetheless, and somebody who really did change the game for good. So, great player. Did an awesome job. So, yeah, he averaged 24 points per game during this career, played in 1,243 total games, and just a great ball player, man. So, yeah, so the Brooklyn Nets, actually, their money line tonight is at plus 425. And for the Sixers, their money line, according to ESPN Bet, is at minus 650, which I think is way too high. I really do. I think that's way too high. The over-under in this game for total points is at 213.5. And the Sixers are picked to win. The point spread is 9.5 points. So, it's a lot. I think that at least the Nets could easily cover the spread. There's no doubt in my mind. I think that they can absolutely cover the spread tonight. And I don't see how they wouldn't be able to do that. So what are your final score predictions? For those of you that are just tuning on in for the very first time, please let me know what you guys think the final score is going to be. And again, if you are tuning in for the first time, I wanted to just remind you that I have a poll question in my community tab on whether or not we should cover a lot of the Phillies spring training games. I want to hear your thoughts. Please go vote on that. The poll is right on over here. Jane was very, very good to us and provided the link for us. So I'm going to post it once again, and I want to get your thoughts. Here's the poll and the link to the poll. It's right over here. So there we go. I don't want to put anybody in a timeout. What am I doing? There we go. Okay. Let's go to our live stream, and let's get underway. And why is this like this? Huh. Well, let's hide that. That's weird. Okay. Remove this, and then we'll put this back here, and then we'll put this guy back over here, and then move this guy down. These little things bother me, so I think that looks better. Yeah, it does. 5 more subs until we get to 4,800 subscribers. Just continue to keep pushing out the word, spread the love, spread the positivity, and let's try to get more freaks on this channel with a capital P and a capital H. Lonnie Walker IV, making the Sixers debut today, it seems. Again, I'll say this again. I think that he's a nice pickup. I do. I don't know why he was out of the league, but he's somebody that I know that can put the ball on the floor. He's a bucket getter. He can take away touches from Tyrese Maxey, which I think is nice. I think that Tyrese Maxey, his usage rate has to go down, and he's not a ball handler. He's not a point guard. He's not naturally a point guard. He's naturally more so of a shooting guard, and I've said that for quite some time. Is Lonnie Walker more of a point guard? No. However, I'm not saying that Tyrese can't handle the ball at all. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he shouldn't even be passing the ball, because, yes, it just shouldn't be what his first instinct is, you know? And so for them to get Lonnie, I think that that's a nice move, because he takes the pressure off of Tyrese Maxey, and they can implement him into some of these lineups. I think that that's really, really big. So, Yeah, man. It should be an interesting matchup between both of these teams. The Sixers are actually picked to win by 11.5 points, and I don't see how that's even going to be the case. I think Brooklyn can easily cover the spread tonight, and I'm not advising anybody to gamble out there. But if I was a gambling man, if I was a betting man, I would take that chance. I would. So no Jared McCain, no Kyle Lowry, no Eric Gordon, and no Justin Edwards. The big three is intact, though, for the Sixers, and that is Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. They are in the starting lineup. We'll get the full lineups in just a little bit of time. BW is here. What's up, BW? How are you doing, my friend? Congratulations on another successful stream. You started off season 3 with a bang. I know that the Orioles didn't win, but you know what, man? It's just, I could tell that you were in your element when you were on the mic today. And it was really a beauty to see, man. It really was. I'm not just saying that. I mean that. I get the feeling. I get that. You feel like you're right where you belong. And that's how I feel when I'm doing the Sixers, the Eagles, and the Phillies. I love being in this space. I love my chat, man. I love the freaks. I really do. All right. So we are ready to get things rolling. Let's go. Baseball is back, baby. Oh, yes, it is. It is. It definitely is. All right, so the starting lineup for the Brooklyn Nets, you got Killian Hayes, Keon Johnson, Cam Johnson, Zaire Williams, and Nick Claxton as the starting 5. That's from 1 to 5. And for the Sixers, they got Quentin Grimes, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre Jr., Paul George, and Joel Embiid. And here we go. Embiid going up against Nick Claxton, who's wearing the Phantom of the Opera mask protecting his face. And Embiid will win the tip-off for the Philadelphia 76ers as we are underway. So Embiid over to Maxey, and Maxey's little layup is up and in. 2-0 Philadelphia. And it was a nice little layup by Tyrese Maxey. Finished on the right side of the baseline with the underhanded scoop. Johnson with a mid-range J. Can't connect. Oubre played very good defense. Paul George got the rebound. He's over at the top of the near wing. Sixers going from right to left, and the Nets are going from left to right. George is fouled in the act of shooting as he tried to drive it into the lane and hit a layup. He did not make the layup, but he will head over to the line for 2 foul shots, and Zaire Williams gets called for the shooting foul. Paul George this season just averaging 16 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 4.5 assists per game as well, and only shooting 43% from the field. It's pretty low for him. He's 34 years old. He'll be 35 in May. First foul shot, he connects the dots on that one, and it's a 3-0 game so far. Just have only played 42 seconds. Foul shot number 2 by PG. Swish goes the basketball.
Excellent.
Saw that the Flyers won earlier today and were able to get a big win. So that was nice to see. Keon Johnson drives it inside. Good defense by Paul George. And the ball does go out of bounds. Zaire Williams touched it last, and George will inbound it for the Philadelphia 76ers. Season 2 for me, calling baseball is my substance. For me, it's just calling sports, but I get the feeling. I understand the feeling with baseball for sure. George to Embiid, who rolls over towards the basket. He can't hit the layup. I mean, he was being defended by Johnson. He's about 5 inches smaller than him, but he still could not hit it. George trying to play defense on the other side, but Keon Johnson rolls to the basket and finishes with the right hand. And finally, the Nets get their first 2 points of the game. Maxey, step back 3. He knocks it down from the top of the key. 7-2, Tyrese Maxey finally able to get into the scoring department for the Sixers. He is fourth in the NBA in scoring, and a foul is issued on Philadelphia, and it'll be on Kelly Oubre Jr. So Maxey this year, actually that was his second bucket, because he made a layup earlier, so give him 5 points, averaging 27.5 points per game this year. Johnson rolls over towards the basket off the inbound pass, and, well, is able to make the little dunk. That was Keon Johnson who was able to make the dunk, and Killian Hayes got the assist. Maxey, another three, bullseye! He knocks it down! Tyrese Maxey with 8 points so far in this game, and he is hot as a stove. Here's a layup on the other side by Claxton, and he gets it to go 10-6. Philadelphia up by 4. Maxey on the near corner, being heavily guarded by Keon Johnson, and now dribbles around the timeline, finds Grimes. One more to Oubre for a far corner three. Can't get it, and the rebound belongs to Brooklyn. Claxton downhill over to Hayes. One more to Johnson in the dunker spot, and Cam Johnson able to hit a layup, a little reverse layup with a Euro step. He got it to go. Maxey gets it over on the near side, bounces it over to Embiid on the block, being double-teamed, and he'll hand it off over to Oubre, who dribbles around the timeline, goes up for a two. It was blocked by Johnson, and it went out of bounds off of Kelly Oubre's left knee, and the Nets will inbound it with 9:01 to go in quarter number 1. That was a clean block by Keon Johnson as he sort of stripped it as Oubre was going up from his waist for a shot and just could not get it off. Nets are in their black and white uniforms with the white the white letters on the back, the gray numbers on the back, and then the black the black letters on the front and the black numbers on the front as well. We have a shooting foul called on Quentin Grimes as he was trying to play defense on Cam Johnson, hit him right on the wrist as he was going into his shooting form. And so 2 free throws are going to come on up for Cameron Johnson. Free throw number 1, he makes it and knocks it down. Makes it a 10-9 game. The Sixers lead the regular season series against the Brooklyn Nets 2-1. Free throw number 2 by Cam Johnson. Here it is, and he swishes it and ties this baby up 10-10. Johnson already with 4 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound in this game so far. Maxey coming off of a screen, gets tripped up and fouled. Embiid thought that it was didn't even hear the whistle, so he sort of just continued the play. But he was fouled. Keon Johnson fouled Tyrese Maxey. 5 more subs until we get to 4,800. Maxey will get the inbound pass. He's over in between the circles. The Sixers maneuver from right to left. They're in their white and blue uniforms. Embiid down low on the block. Dribbles towards his right side. Gets out of a double team. Finds Grimes. Wide open for 3. Got it to go! Eric is here. What's going on, Eric? How are you, my friend? 13-10. Sixers lead it by 3. They're in the driver's seat so far. Grimes tries to play defense, and there's a nice little runner by Killian Hayes. He had a little teardrop from the mid-range and makes it a 1-point game. Maxey with a tray. It's off the mark. Hit off the front of the rim, and Johnson grabs the rebound. Keon Johnson trying to go coast to coast over Tyrese Maxey. Good defense by Maxey. The rebound by Embiid. The drop-off pass to Maxey at the Wells Fargo center side. Embiid to George. Near wing tray. In and out it goes. Oh, boy, the crowd wanted that thing to fall. Everybody rose, and then they settled back down. Johnson gets it over on the near side. Zaire Williams, the former Memphis Grizzly, now goes up with a runner inside and kisses it off the window, and he's fouled by Paul George. And one opportunity for Zaire Williams, and that is already his second bucket of the ball game. I mean, he did a good job at penetrating the contact. He got past a screen set by Claxton on the near side and then just dribbled past Claxton, got ahead of Paul George, and George was trailing right behind him and fouled him. The foul shot on the end one opportunity. It's good as gold for Zaire Williams. Pretty good foul shooter he is at the line. Maxey leading the way with 8 points, has the rock, dribbles it, and passes it over to George. A kick out to Quentin Grimes. Grimes wants help. Embiid gets a foul line jumper to go, and we're back to a deuce at 15 apiece. We've played 5 minutes in this first quarter so far. That is just Embiid's first bucket today. 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist for the big fella. Number 21 trying to get a steal, but it goes into the hands of Cam Johnson, who rolls over towards the bucket and finds Killian Hayes in the dunker spot as he lays it home, and the Nets back out on top by 2. Maxey tries to tie the game on the other side. Can't get it. Oubre on the follow-through. He can't put it back either. Nets have a 3-on-3 opportunity here. A wide-open 3 is knocked down on the far corner by Zaire Williams. And Brooklyn trying to get out in front. Well, they are out in front. They're up by 5. Now it's 20-15. Maxey on the near wing again, looking to pass it, and he has to pick up his dribble, and he does. He crosses over one time. He's at the logo. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Maxey has to get going. What's he doing? He goes over in between the baseline and the foul line, puts up a little runner and can't get it, and then out it goes again. Nets rebound. Johnson going up against Kelly Oubre Jr. That's Cam Johnson. He'll kick it out to Keon Johnson. They play a game of catch on the near side. Cam Johnson gets a little bit of some space, puts up a contested 3, and we have a foul called. It was not on the shot. Quentin Grimes got called for a loose ball foul, I believe. They did say that it was a shooting foul, and it's going to be on Kelly Oubre Jr., and the Sixers are going to call a timeout. I don't know if they're going to challenge this or not, but that's how things are going so far. It's 20-15 Brooklyn. They lead it by 5 with 5:44 to go in quarter number 1. All right. Thank you all so much for being on here. Again, the name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ. We are on for Philadelphia Phillies, Philadelphia 76ers, and Philadelphia Eagles games. That's what we do. The one thing that I've noticed so far, folks, is that Joel Embiid has looked very stationary on defense. It looks like when he's down low on the block, he just doesn't want to have anything to deal with playing defense. And the body language, to me, is what says it all. It really sets the tone. I didn't talk about this during the pregame show, but with what I've heard from these press conferences over the last couple of days from Joel Embiid, Nick Nurse, and Paul George, I mean, obviously they are a hate to see right now, but just from their demeanor and just from their tone and the lack of eye contact and the emotion or the lack of emotion that they're providing in their voices, they all look tired. They look like they lost the Super Bowl. They really are just so tired. You could see it in their faces, man. Here comes the race fans from Hot Atlanta. Thank you so much. CeeLo's here. What's going on? CeeLo, thank you so much. Guys, if you're tuning into the channel for the very first time, my name is Jason Joseph. I go by JJ on here. You can call me anything, or as my Zadie would say, just don't call me late to dinner. Dad joke, Zadie joke, that's okay. My Zadie means grandpa. But yeah, so we do Phillies, we do Sixers, and we do Eagles games on here. I'm a play-by-play broadcaster from South Jersey. I went to Rowan University. I could tell you more about my backstory, but guess what? We got a game to cover, and they're just about ready, the Sixers, to get back into the swing of things. Quentin Grimes, who's gotten into the swing of things as a Sixer. Ever since he's joined, he's averaged about 16 points per game in just 5 games for them. And he has really made a big statement. He's just 24 years old. And, well, it's been a very, very solid impact. PAS! Johnny, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while, man. It's so good to see you, man. It's so good to see you. I saw that you were live earlier, too. Guys, please go subscribe to Pure Adrenaline Sports. Please subscribe to Butterfly and to On The Go with CeeLo. If you guys love the Braves, if you love NASCAR, if you love Tennessee college basketball, please go subscribe to my guy. And for PAS, if you're a Flyers fan like me, and if you're a Mets fan, not like me, but if you like those teams, I also think that he does Jets games. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I should know this. I apologize. My brain is just all over the place right now. But I think he also covers the Jets, too. He does a fantastic job with the Mets, and he does a fantastic job with the Flyers. I do know that for a fact. So, yes. Yeah, I took 2 weeks off from streaming. Dude, I took some time off, too, man. First free throw, it's up and in, and the second one, that's good, too, by Brooklyn, and it's 23-15. 5:40 to go in quarter number 1. Sixers, they got to try to do better on offense. George gets it over at the top of the key, tries to drive it inside, and he finishes through contact with a 2, an underhanded scoop by PG. And the Nets, well, here they come on the other side. Killian Hayes throws it down low, and Lonnie Walker IV, who just subbed on in for the Philadelphia 76ers, is the one who touched it last as it goes out of bounds over towards the near baseline. All right, so Walker, 26 years old, making his Sixers debut, 6 feet 4 inches tall from Reading, Pennsylvania, and was a 2018 first-round draft pick by the San Antonio Spurs. Here's Claxton trying to school Joel Embiid. A turnaround, Jay got it to go. Man, he hit a baseline jumper and was able to knock it down and snarl at the big fella. Maxey trying to get some help as Quentin Grimes is there on the near wing. Sixers maneuver from right to left. They pass it around the timeline. George throws it away as Cam Johnson is able to get the save. Johnson now has the ball, and he's going to throw it away. Paul George tips it, and Joel Embiid steals it at the logo. Embiid rolling over towards the basket, and we have a blocking foul called on Nick Claxton. Or is that Cam Johnson? It was Cam Johnson. He tried to plant a seed into the ground and set his 2 feet, but he moved just a little bit, and it is a blocking foul called on Cameron Johnson. Thank you so much. On the go with CeeLo says subbed. My Spurs, poor Wemby. I know that you're a big Spurs fan, Butterfly. You are correct, sir. Thanks for the kind words. Well, it's the truth. It is absolutely the truth, and I mean that. I really do. Please go subscribe to PAS. If you subscribe to PAS, you're the best. You just are. All right, free throw number 1 by Joel Embiid. It's up, and it's good. We have a plethora of substitutions coming on in. One for the Sixers, and that's David Roddy, who enters on in for Quentin Grimes. Then you got Tyrese Martin and Deron Sharp, who come on in for Killian Hayes and Cam Johnson. Trendon Watford will also sub on in for Nick Claxton, so that's 4 substitutions. Second free throw by Embiid. Got it to go.
Excellent.
6-point game. Sixers down by 2 possessions. 25-19 is the score. And again, the Nets go from left to right. They're in their black and gray uniforms. Watford gets it at the top of the key, dribbles over towards the nail, kicks it out to Cam Johnson. Johnson on the foul line extended, trying to get past Lonnie Walker. The fourth goes up for 2, blocked by Embiid. The ball goes buzzing around though, and it hits the backboard, and then it just went on in. They called the shot on Deron Sharp. I think Embiid got a piece of it. He blocked it, and then on the tip back, Deron Sharp tried to go up with a shot, and it went off the hands of Embiid again, and it just went on in. Unlucky bounce. Here we go. There's a 3 by Embiid. Can't hit it. Tyrese Martin rebound. Martin for 3. Got it. Oh, in the face of Paul George. Tyrese Martin not Maxey. Tyrese Martin able to hit his first three of the day, and it makes it 30-19. David Roddy finds Embiid. Embiid back to Roddy. Euro step and a reverse layup to make it a 9-point ball game with 3:23 to go in quarter number one. Watford is trapped, finds Cam Johnson on the near wing. Johnson will try to take it to Embiid, and he does. Embiid didn't even jump. I mean, he is just not trusting that knee at all, and he is so stagnant on defense. He's like a statue out there. It's 32-21, Brooklyn up by 11 points. Joel Embiid dumps it back off to Lonnie Walker, the fourth in between the circles. Embiid in between the three-point line and the two-point line again. Gives it outside to Lonnie Walker for a three. Offensive rebound by David Roddy, and the Sixers will reset. Embiid on the block. Kicks it out to Walker. The second try by Lonnie. No good. George, offensive rebound back outside to Maxey. Maxey for three, and he says, "I've had enough," as he hits a tray from the far wing. It took them not one, not two, but three offensive possessions to finally capitalize. 2:20 remaining in quarter number one. Johnson parts the Red Sea, can't make the layup. He was wide open, missed the bunny, and PG grabs the rebound. Maxey to Embiid, a behind-the-back bounce pass to Paul George on the far wing. And George will slow the tempo down. Finds Embiid. Embiid for three. Oh, man, so close, but no cigar. He tried to sink it from that far wing, and it hit the front iron and went out of bounds. Timeout called by Brooklyn as they got the rebound, and they will have possession with 1:52 to go in the first quarter. It's a 32-24 start for Brooklyn as they lead it by 8 points. All right. Again, if you are tuning in for the very first time, we got 135 people tuning on in. Wow. Again, on the go with CeeLo, you are the best, man. Shout out to you. Again, my name is Jason Joseph here. Let me go to my monologue screen for a second. Hi, everybody. What's going on? I covered the Phillies, I covered the Sixers, and I covered the Eagles on my channel. I do like an old school, like, radio style play-by-play, but obviously I love talking to you all, and you guys, the fans, are what really make this whole experience so awesome. We try to give you guys really good quality play-by-play, and I know that there's people that are on here that aren't a fan of Philly sports. We are trying to also incorporate other sports, other teams too. Like, for example, this year, I didn't even tell my channel this or my chat this, but we are going to be doing Sunday Night Baseball. We're going to try to do some more NBA games and cover some more of that type of stuff. And that'll be really awesome. And I'm very excited about that. I want to continue to grow the brand. I've been doing this for 2 years, guys. And, you know, I really, love what I do. I love the watch parties. The watch parties are great, but I love the play-by-play. I love being able to just sit down, listen to a broadcast, and not even have to turn on the TV. And if I can see what's going on and I can picture it in the back of my mind, sometimes I like just doing that. And there's people that I know who also like to just turn down the audio and on the TV, and they like to sync the TV gameplay with our audio, which is also really, really cool. But there's also people that can't afford to tune into professional games, and YouTube is a great outlet for that, and so is Twitch. So please make sure that you guys hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icons too. And again, thank you all so much for being on here. On the go with CeeLo. I owe you one, man. Thank you so much for coming by and for rating me. Means a lot to me. We need 4 more subs in order for us to get to 4,800 subscribers. All right, so Reese Beekman is going to enter on in for Keon Johnson, and it'll be his first time playing today. So the 5 for the Nets, it's Watford, Wilson, Sharp, Martin, and Beekman. Beekman for a 3, can't hit it, airballs it. It's rebounded, though, by Deron Sharp, and he puts it back up as he boxes Embiid out and puts it in. Oh, boy. Stop taking threes, Embiid. What's up, Stoney? How are you? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maxey on the near wing on the perimeter. And he dribbles it over towards his right side. He's double-teamed, and he'll swing it out over to Grimes. Again, David Roddy still in there for the Sixers. Plays for the G League for the Bluecoats. Gives it back over to Maxey, and with 1.3 seconds left, Maxey gets fouled. That's 1.3 seconds on the shot clock, 1:10 on the game clock, and Maxey will head over to the charity stripe, and he will shoot 2 free throws. If you haven't, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you enjoy the amazing call from Jason, quote-unquote, the voice, Joseph. Aw, thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate that. Whoops. Whoa. Did I stop the stream? Please don't tell me please, are we still live? I pressed a button by accident that I did not mean to press. All right, free throw number 1, good by Tyrese Maxey. The second free throw, that is good as well.
Excellent.
Good, we're still good. My heart literally just sank for a second. 34-26. All right, Brooklyn has the rock. And we have another foul called on the Philadelphia 76ers. We're still live, baby. Nice. So now the Nets are in the bonus, and Tyrese Maxey wants an explanation from the referee as to what the heck the foul was. So it was Trendon Watford who got fouled. Let's talk a little bit more about Watford. Just 2 assists for him in this game. 24 years old, went to LSU, and is in his 3rd season. First free throw, hits off the front iron, and bounces out towards the right side. His last game, he had 13 points. He had 3 assists and 4 rebounds, and shot just 36% from the field in 21 minutes. Second free throw, he knocks it down. Maxey will get the inbound pass. He needs help as he's doubled in the backcourt, and finally is able to give it up over to Grimes. No backcourt violation call. Grimes with a layup finishes on the left side of the baseline with the left hand. 7-point game, 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. So the Nets are in the bonus. The Sixers actually are at the foul limits. Watford has it at the top of the key, gets a screen, and decides not to use it. He'll try to take on Tyrese Maxey over on the baseline, finds Deron Sharp down low, and Sharp throws it down with 2 hands. He cut over right behind Andre Drummond, who just subbed on in for the Sixers. And Maxey has the rock again. 9-point game, 22 seconds to go, 7 seconds differentiating the shot clock from the game clock. And Maxey with the binoculars as he finds Andre Drummond down low, wide open, then he got fouled. He was fouled, and with 17 seconds to go, he will head to the line and shoot a pair of free throws. PAS, hi, and thanks for coming on in. Yes, sir. CeeLo said, check you out. John, what's up, John? How are you, my friend? Andre Drummond, not a good foul shooter, and, well, right on cue, misses the first free throw. He's been a guy who's really struggled throughout his whole entire career as a free throw shooter. Just a 48% free throw shooter. And the second free throw, well, he misses that one too, but there is a whistle called. And I think that Andre Drummond will get another chance to shoot some more free throws because of the violation. So it was a lane violation on Tyrese Martin. That's funny. John, I hope that you're doing well, man. Again, if you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Jason Joseph. We cover Sixers, Eagles, and Phillies games on this channel. Drummond does miss the second free throw, grabs his own rebound, though, tries to go for another 2, and another whistle called on Brooklyn. So Drummond got the offensive rebound, and Watford is going to sub on out, it looks like. So he goes over to the sidelines. Andre Drummond is going to head back to the line. So he's going to shoot 4 free throws in just a matter of, I think, like 2 seconds. There was a technical foul also issued on Andre Drummond, and Trendon Watford was called for the shooting foul. So the free throw is going to be made by Cam Johnson, and that makes it a 10-point game, and now Drummond gets to shoot 2 more free throws. I mean, there was just chirping. There wasn't anything physical, nothing like that at all whatsoever. All right. 15.1 seconds left to go in quarter number 1. R.I.P. Sixers, says Doris. First free throw by Drummond, and finally he knocks one down. The second foul shot by Andre. He got it to go.
Excellent.
8-point game, 15 seconds left in the first quarter. And now Trendon Watford has it over at the top of the key. Dribbles with the left hand. He's being guarded by David Roddy. 4 seconds left to go. They're going to hold for one more possession. Obviously, Watford, with the clock winding down, goes up with a runner inside, and he's able to get it at the buzzer. He got it over David Roddy and was able to float it up and in. And that's 40 points for the Brooklyn Nets as the Sixers get outscored 40-30. Did he get it off in time? Oh, he most certainly did. He got it off with about 0.3 of a second, just off the fingertips from 7 feet. And so we go into quarter number 2. Sixers down by 10 to the Brooklyn Nets, 2 teams that are fighting for that final seed in the NBA play-in tournament. Wow. Oh, boy. Doris says you may beat us again. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was ugly. That was not a good first quarter. Joel Embiid again, just not playing any defense at all, and just continues to prove my point just to shut him down. I sound like a broken record. I sound like I've been saying this over and over again. What is the point of playing Joel Embiid and Paul George if they're not going to be, if they just look like they're hurt and they just are not playing hard? What's the point? What's the point when they're not performing at what they're capable of? So that's my question. And I'm going to ask this again. Because I don't know if people heard this before. Should Daryl Morey be fired? Should Daryl Morey be fired? It's like they're dead. I know. Yabu hasn't even played today. Isn't that sad? I haven't even called his name once. Hasn't even played. But maybe again, maybe they're just trying to tank. Maybe that is the mindset now. Yabu and RC4 are awesome, and so is Justin Edwards. And Quentin Grimes is great too. They have nice young players, but they're not playing them. The max contracts. Imagine if the young players were the ones getting the max contracts. I think that we'd feel better. I don't know, though. We got 96 people tuning on in. Again, my name is Jason Joseph. This is Play-by-Play with JJ. I go on for Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles games, and I do old school, play-by-play on this channel. We need 3 more subscribers for us to get to 4,800. I'm really hoping that we can break that curse tonight. Break that milestone tonight. Sorry about that. Lonnie Walker IV will enter back in for the Sixers. Christian Yabusele will also check on in for them too. So the lineup, it's George, Grimes, Yabusele, Drummond, and Walker as we start off quarter number 2. Walker gets the rebound off of the missed shot by Tyrese Martin. Yabusele now has it over on the near corner, throws it away as Tyrese Martin cut up in front of Paul George, and Keon Johnson is there to the rescue in the backcourt. John says, I'm doing good. There's a catch-and-shoot three-pointer that's up, and it goes in and out. Yabusele tried to get the rebound for the Sixers, and it goes out of bounds off of his left hand. Yabusele rocking the afro. Looks really good on him, man. So Tyrese Martin is the one who missed the 27-footer for Brooklyn. Deron Sharp will get the inbound pass for the Nets at the foul line, and he gets tripped up by Andre Drummond, the former Brooklyn Net. George with 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist, and just has not been playing up to par at all this season. The last game that Paul George had 30 points was back on January 24th. It was a month ago, where he scored over 20 points, and that was a 30-point game that he had. Here's a drive to the basket by Martin, and a lot of physicality down low, and a foul is issued on Andre Drummond again. He has to be careful. Because he's starting to get into foul trouble. That's his second personal foul. And they do call it a shooting foul. I do want to congratulate you on beating the Chiefs, JJ. The better team won that night. I didn't get a chance to tell you until now. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it was... The Eagles destroyed Mahomes. They took him apart. And they were absolutely the better team. But, I was not counting you guys out until the very, very end. I did not want to take that for granted. The 2 free throws by Jalen Wilson are good, and the Sixers have the ball back. George at the top of the key finds Yabusele at the nail. One more to Drummond, and he throws it down with 2 hands and shakes and bakes the rim. Look out below for AD, not Anthony Davis. That's Andre Drummond. 42-32. Watford looking to pass it back outside over to Deron Sharp. They swing it around the timeline. Again, Sharp tries to give it up over to Wilson, and there's an illegal screen called on Deron Sharp. He was moving, and the Sixers will get the ball back. That's a big turnover by Brooklyn. 10-point game. Both teams have just scored 2 points in this second quarter so far. How about that nice little pass from George to Yabusele as Paul George got the hockey assist, and then it was Andre Drummond underneath the rim who was able to throw it down with 2 hands. Oubre over to Drummond, and now Yabusele on the block, being guarded by 2 people. Grimes is trapped on the near corner. Will bounce it inside to Yabusele. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Yabu trying to get through. Goes up for a shot. Not once. Andre Drummond gets the rebound and puts it up and puts it in with about a second on the shot clock to go. 42-34. Sixers trying to lock all doors on defense and play good on the perimeter. Watford at the elbow puts up a high arcing 2. It's airballed and rebounded by the Nets. A wide open 3 by Tyrese Martin. He can't get that one to go. Grimes tried to get the rebound, and it goes out of bounds. It was last poked by Quentin Grimes. He thought that maybe Watford got a fingertip on it. He did not, though, and the shot clock does reset to 14 seconds. Everyone was like, it's over in the third quarter, and JJ just kept saying, I'm not celebrating until the clock hits 0. Even when they took the final knee, I had to wait until the final seconds were played. Watford over at the nail gets fouled in the act of shooting by Andre Drummond, and that is his 3rd personal foul. You only get 6, so you got to be careful. And I think now is the time to just take him out. He's only played for about less than 3 minutes, and he's committed 3 fouls. So Watford is the one who got fouled. It was not in the act of shooting. They still elect to keep Drummond in, though. Reese Beekman has it at the top of the perimeter. Watford breaks the ankles of Yabusele. A man down. There's a 3-pointer, and it's in and out again. Beekman could not hit the tray. George for the Sixers over on the near wing. Embiid getting ready to check back on in. George gets it stripped, and there was a very late whistle. Paul George was crying wolf to the referee, and as soon as Martin tried to stumble downhill for the Brooklyn Nets, the foul was called. A very, very late foul. So that's how it goes. 90 people tuning on in. Again, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icons as well. And that way you'll know when we go live for Sixers, Phillies, and Eagles games. I hope that you enjoy this cast. How did you guys get into basketball? For those of you that are new to the channel, I want to hear your backstories, man. How did you get into sports? You might not even be a basketball fan, but what got you into sports, man? Oubre gets the inbound pass, and he throws it away. Claxton gets the steal. He actually blocked Kelly Oubre, or Beekman that got the steal. Watford tries to go for a two. Yabusele gets the rebound. Outlet pass to Quentin Grimes. Grimes tries to go downhill. Rejected by Claxton, and it goes out of bounds. And it'll be Sixers ball. They trail by 8 points, but honestly, it feels like that they're down by 28 with the way that they have just not been able to play in this game. My dad got me into it, says Stoney. Yes. I remember you said that. 83 people on here. Come on, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. Yes, sir. I want to hear your sports stories, man. I genuinely am curious. Embiid checks back in for the Sixers, and he gives it up over to Grimes. Grimes tries to throw it over to George, and it's knocked loose and stolen by the Nets. Here's another three by Brooklyn on the far wing, and Wilson knocks it down with ease. 11-point ball game. Nets back up by double figures. Embiid looks for a double team, and will kick it out to Yabusele. George at the top of the key, crosses over 3 times, wants to ISO, steps back, fires the trigger for 3. And we have a whistle called, and PG will head to the line for a triplet or a hat trick of free throws. It's 45-34 with 8 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Keon Johnson was guilty for committing the foul. The Nets, over their last 8 games, they are 6-2. And they're allowing their opponents to shoot only 31% from 3. George's first free throw is going to go in and out. How did you start liking sports, JJ? I started liking sports. It's a long story. It's a long story. I'd love to go into it during a break. The second free throw by PG, he knocks it down. But my first love, and I don't think this would surprise a lot of people, but my first love was baseball. Got into baseball when I was in 3rd grade. Yeah, it was when I was in 3rd grade. That's when I really got into it. So, George, 1 for 2 at the line so far. The third free throw, he'll knock that one down, too.
Excellent.
One more sub till we get to 4,800 subscribers. Let's go. There's Trendon Watford again over on the far elbow. We'll dump it off over to Cam Johnson. A kick out over to Claxton. Claxton to Wilson. They swing it around. Johnson for 3. Wide open on the perimeter. Can't get it. And Embiid comes up with a miss of Cameron Johnson. He's been pretty cold today. He's been their leading scorer throughout the whole entire season. 10 points, but he's been pretty quiet. Oubre downhill over to Yabusele. Tries to take on Watford. Gets it stripped by Watford and stolen by Cam Johnson. And Watford would just reached on in, picked his pocket. Johnson has it over at the nail. We'll try the Euro step inside. Kicks it out to a wide-open three-point shooter on the near wing. And Jalen Wilson, the assassinator, knocks it down from 24 feet off the apple by Cam Johnson. Johnson said, I got to find the apple of my eye, and that's Jalen Wilson. George answers back with a 3 of his own. 9-point game. Paul George from downtown, able to fire and hit a tray from beyond the arc. We've played just 5 minutes into quarter number 2. Watford again looks to pass it outside to Johnson, and Johnson tries to answer for a 3. Hits off the front iron, and off the rebound, it's an offensive board for Brooklyn, and Zaire Williams able to turn that thing into a bucket. So we got the little layup to go. George on the other side driving over to the basket, and he's fouled in the act of shooting, and he'll head to the line for 2 free throws. But before that, we got a timeout called. And with 6:55 to go in quarter number 2, Sixers down by 11 points. All right. How did I get into sports? Okay, so it's actually a really funny story. So I was in 3rd grade. It was either 3rd or 2nd grade. I had a TV in my bedroom, a small TV, and was watching cable, and I loved Nickelodeon. I love SpongeBob. Who doesn't like SpongeBob? I actually know people that don't like SpongeBob, and, well, I feel sorry for those people. But anyhow, I was trying to find Nickelodeon because I think SpongeBob was on, and I went to channel 34 instead of channel 33. Channel 33 was the Nickelodeon station. That's where all the kids were tuning in to Nickelodeon, Nick at Night, and all those types of things. And I go to channel 34, and I see that there's this black and white ticker, score bug that's on the top of the screen. It's really small, and it had the shape of a diamond. And there was this guy who was batting on the left side of the plate. I don't know who it was. I didn't know who it was at the time. But he was in the batter's box, and he had a beautiful batting stance, and he looked like he was trouble at the plate. And I'm watching a couple of pitches. I'm like, this isn't Nickelodeon, but this looks really interesting. Watch a couple of pitches go by, ball, and then a strike. And then next pitch, gone. Didn't know who it was. But I'm watching the crowd erupt. And I'm watching everybody stand tall in the stands. And I'm thinking, well, that's really cool. 22 minutes later, Mama calls up. It's time for dinner. I'll be down in a second, Mom. A second turned into about another 4 minutes because I wanted to see what was going to happen until there was a break because my eyes were so hypnotized. Go downstairs. Dad's watching the same game. Same guy comes up to bat. And he hits another home run. And that guy was Ryan Howard. 2006, Ryan Howard won MVP, batted .313 that year, and was a monster at the plate. And that is how I got into baseball. That was like my first enjoyable memory that I had of baseball. I think I was at the vet one time. I didn't really remember much about it, but that was when I was 8 years old. And that's how I got into sports. Him and Harry Callis and Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins, all four got me into it. And now back to our regular scheduled program. 50-39 is the score. Sixers have the ball. It's Kelly Oubre tries to go for a 2, and it gets rejected. So they called the foul on Paul George, not in the act of shooting. They called it on the floor. The Nets tried to go for a shot on the first possession. They couldn't get it. And now we have another turnover called on Brooklyn. All right, man. Hope all is well. That's a pretty cool story, JJ. Thank you. I loved Nick at Night. Nick at Night was awesome. Got into NASCAR thanks to my dad, and we went to a race at Dover. That is really cool. That is really, really awesome. That's special. How many races have you been to, if you don't mind me asking? We got 78 people tuning on in. Again, thank you so much for the love and the support. Maxey drives it inside and has some ballet moves and finishes with the left hand. 9-point game with less than 6 minutes to go in the first half. Here's a nice little pass over to a wide-open three-point shooter, and Keon Johnson can't knock it down. Paul George able to get the rebound. George to Maxey, another three, and then out it goes, and a board by Nick Claxton again. Claxton with an outlet pass downhill, and he tries to go for a 2, and he is fouled by Joel Embiid. So it was actually, Jalen Wilson who got the rebound, and then he was able to find Cam Johnson on the near wing with a nice, beautiful dime, and then Claxton was ahead of Joel Embiid. He ran right past him, and Claxton threw it down with two hands, and he'll get an and one opportunity. 4,800, let's go, baby! We did it! We did it! Wow. Oh, thank you. We got to 4,800 subscribers. It took us a little bit of time, but we got it. We finally got it. And I am so happy. I can't believe it. 4,800, man. That's so sick. John says that I went to 3 different raceways. Dude, that is so cool. Do you remember the first one? I remember that you said that you were that you went to a race at Dover. What was that experience like? I know that you only get so many characters on the YouTube chats, but I would like to hear, genuinely speaking, what that feeling was like when you were there the very first time. Yes, sir. Taco. What's up, Taco? Yes. Let's go. Again, please go subscribe to PAS. I know that, please go subscribe to him, man. My guy. All right, second free throw. The free throw by Claxton is good. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit lost. I'm just so happy that we got to 4,800. I'm so happy. Maxey gets it over on the near wing. Finds Embiid down low on the block. Embiid back outside to Maxey. Inside, outside. 3 by Tyrese. Can't get it again. Maxey is cold. He is shooting 3 for 6 from 3. He made his first 3 threes, and then ever since then, he's 0 for his last 3. 5:05 to go in quarter number 2. The Nets lead it by a dozen. It feels like that they should be up by 25 points. Here's a Walker who tries to intercept a bad pass from Johnson, and then it gets off of his right hand and goes out of bounds over towards the near sideline. Butterfingers. 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and the Nets will have to inbound it and try to come up with something quickly here. What he said. David Jones. Congratulations, JJ. Thank you. Johnson off a screen for a 3-pointer. No. Walker, a rebound. And a pass to Embiid. Here's Tyrese Maxey running over towards the far right side. He is double-teamed. Pass out of the double team, and there's a 3-pointer by Embiid again. And Embiid can't hit it from beyond the arc. Joel Embiid 0 for 3 from downtown. Just 4 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. He has been so awful offensively and defensively in this game. Johnson gets past the sleeping defense from Paul George and Embiid and makes it look so easy. Embiid will try to drive it on the other side, and he is fouled. He tried to Euro step it into the lane, and he could not hit the 2, but he is going to head back to the line for a pair of foul shots. So Embiid only with 4 points in this game. Again, 1 for 5 from the field. He just looked so out of sorts. He had 15 points in his last game against the Boston Celtics, and that was his lowest that he's ever scored against Boston. And the first free throw by Joel, he hits it. This is a guy who is shooting 88% from the line this year. Motor Vessel Tortuga Sunrise says, 10 years of age, I began going to Phillies spring training games a few blocks from my house in Clearwater, Florida, back in 1972-ish. That is so cool. What do you remember about your first game? Or what was the best spring training game that you ever went to? Let me know down below. Claxton tries to go for a 2. It's rebounded by Embiid. And Grimes gets it over for the Sixers. Walker on the near wing puts up a tray. Fires it. No good. Embiid didn't anticipate the ball coming back to him. And, well, it's rebounded by Brooklyn. Again, sleeping on defense. Johnson rotating on offense for Brooklyn. They find another wide-open three-point shooter. And Keon Johnson hits the tray from the far wing. All smiles for Brooklyn and all frowns for Philadelphia. The body language says it all, folks. Maxey again at the top of the key. ISO three-pointer. It's up, and it's in and out again. It's just that type of day for Tyrese Maxey. He's getting some wide-open looks, just not able to cash them on in, and he usually does. Johnson with a little handoff pass to Claxton for a floater inside, and he got it. It's a 10-0 run by the Brooklyn Nets, and the Sixers have their largest deficit at 17 with 3:12 to go, and Nick Nurse shakes his head and calls a timeout. Dude, I love your call. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. We have so much fun doing this. I'm a broadcaster from South Jersey. I went to school at Rowan University, and graduated in 2022. I interned at NFL Films. I also do some Villanova Wildcats ice hockey. I did that this year for club. I'm sorry, I'm sort of getting used to just the pace of talking fast again. Every sport, man, like it has its own rhythm to it. In basketball, sometimes I forget about how fast this game is. It's not as fast as ice hockey. It's definitely not on that level, but it's still pretty fast on the radio. You know, I always say that radio basketball is like, you know, it's totally different than calling TV basketball. But I love the radio call for basketball. I really do. I think that there's more energy to it. And with, you know, the TV, like a picture says 1,000 words. So you think that if a picture says 1,000 words, well, then just the whole scenery lays 1,000 words. But you're the eyes and the ears on the radio. And it's cool. You know? It's very, very sick. So we do Phillies, Sixers, and we do Eagles. And we have fun. And we engage with you guys. I believe that engaging with the chat is what makes such a big difference in the landscape of sports media. I do. I've always thought for a very long time, why can't the audience be part of the story too? Can you imagine Harry Kalas talking directly to the fans and having an interaction with them? I think he would love it. I've said this for a while, and I do mean this. Like, radio is cool, and, you know, just being able to be yourself and not have to, like, worry about the chat. Like, there's pros and cons, but I like this. And I'm being genuine. I really, really like this. You know, there's other people that do watch parties on here, and that's really cool too, but I love old school traditional play-by-play, but interacting with you guys as well is something that I kind of want to keep up with, you know? I hope that makes sense. Do you like Nick Nurse, JJ? That's a very loaded question. The Nets are blowing us out. Oh, duh, Tony Stewart. He liked Dale Jr. too. You grew up till 70. Middlesex. Oh, Route 70. Nice. Middlesex, New Jersey. Huh? That's pretty cool. 60-45. Do I like Nick Nurse? I'll get back to that in just a few moments. The short answer is I don't like what he's been able to do this year. Not really a big fan of what the Sixers have done at all this year. Who is? Here's Paul George on the steal. It was a bad pass by the Nets. Grimes gets it on the perimeter, finds Embiid down low on the block, and Embiid is fouled by Cam Johnson in the act of shooting. There's 3 other games that are supposed to go on in the later window tonight. One of them is going to occur in just about 3 minutes or so. That is the Lakers, who are taking on the Denver Nuggets, the red-hot Denver Nuggets, who are 37-19. Now, the Houston Rockets will be playing in Utah against the Jazz at 9:30. And then at 10 o'clock, you got the Charlotte Hornets, the 14-40 Hornets in Portland, who are 23-33. And that is the final game of tonight. Embiid with the first free throw. He makes it 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds for number 21. Stick with what you're doing, JJ, and you keep getting better and better, and I promise you'll have 10,000 subs in no time. Absolutely. The second free throw, it is good as gold for number 21.
Excellent.
All right, so that makes it now 60-47, 2.5 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Watford down the lane, and a whistle called on Philadelphia. It was on the floor, and the foul is issued to Tyrese Maxey. Maxey, we talked about him shooting-wise from 3. He's missed his last 4 threes. He's 3 for 7 from downtown, 5 for 11 from the field, and has 15 points. It'll be Killian Hayes who actually does go to the line because the Sixers are over the foul limit, so that puts the Nets in the bonus. And the first free throw goes in and out, bounces on the front side of the rim, and dances off towards the right side. Killian Hayes, a former player for the Detroit Pistons. 23 years old, was drafted back in 2020. His rookie season started in 18 games. Only averaged 6.8 points per game. He spent 4 years with the Pistons. The second free throw, he got it. 14-point game with 2:20 remaining in quarter number 2. Oubre, Embiid, Maxey, George, and Grimes out there for the Sixers. George throws it over to Maxey. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Drop-off pass that gets intercepted by Cam Johnson. Watford downhill finds Claxton, who goes to the lane. Good defense by Paul George, who gets it denied. Grimes on the near wing for the Sixers. Back to Embiid. One more back to Grimes. And Grimes drills a 3 on the near wing. Nice pass from Joel Embiid, and how about the defense by Paul George? Another timeout called by Brooklyn. 11-point ball game with 1:56 to go in quarter number 2. Good defense leading the easy offense for the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay. Again, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell icon as well. And that way you'll know when we go live. Need that little sip of water. The other really cool thing that I love about this is that we really don't take a lot of breaks on here. You know, it's commercial free. We have ads, but other than that, it's pretty good, I'd say. Nice to see you, Hardcore. I like Nick Nurse, but you can't coach bad offense, you can't coach bad offense. What can a coach do if the players are missing open shots? Yeah, also, I'm not trying to make excuses, but it's not even just the open shots. It goes deeper than that. Like, how can you prepare when you don't know when your lineup or what your lineup is going to look like? You're given a different lineup every single night, and you don't know who's going to be available. So, the game plan changes. The philosophy changes. Again, I'm not, trying to make excuses, even though it sounds like it, but that is a very difficult job when you don't know who is going to be out there on any sort of given night. Because you plan differently when Joel Embiid is out there than when he's not out there. And that's the truth. Here's a layup that goes up and in for Brooklyn as they respond on the offensive side. They just cut back from a timeout and didn't even give me time to call the play. They say that Watford made the layup and Claxton got the assist. Grimes wide open for a 3 on the near wing. It's off the mark and rebounded by the Nets again. 75 people tuning on in. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. And if you love basketball, if you love baseball, if you love football, that's what we cover on this channel, and we do it old school radio play-by-play style. Watford again drops it off over to Cam Johnson on the far wing, former Phoenix Sun. Tries to pass it again, and there's a three-pointer contested by Paul George, and good defense by the Sixers. Maxey to Oubre. Oubre tries to go downhill for a slam, and he does. Back to an 11-point game with 48.2 seconds to go. And Oubre with his first basket of the quarter. That's his second basket today. Just 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist as well. 38 seconds to go in the first half. Watford wide open for a three-pointer off the mark. George rebound. Maxey gets the pass from PG. One more to Oubre. He faked the 3, drove it downhill. Tried to pass it over to Embiid. It's deflected off of Embiid's right hand. He didn't anticipate it coming. It was a rocket that was fired from Oubre and stolen back by the Nets. 15 seconds to go as we have Johnson in between the circles. And he'll dump it off again over to Watford at the top of the key. 4 seconds left. He has to get going. He finally does. He's at the Toyota sign. One more pass to Cam Johnson for a prayer. And it's just a little bit short. And it wouldn't have counted anyways. That'll wrap up the first half. Sixers, they trail by 11 points. They get outscored again by the Brooklyn Nets. And they are losing as they go into halftime. 63-52 is the score at the WFC. For those people who are just tuning in audio-wise, I just took a fat sip of water. because I needed that. All right. Before we get into the halftime show, again, I advise you and encourage you all to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. My name is Jason Joseph. Again, I'm from South Jersey. I'm 26 years old, going to be 27 in August. And we call Sixers, Phillies, and Eagles games. This is actually tomorrow. We are doing our very first spring training game ever. I've never done spring training on this channel. I've done, obviously, like the regular season games for baseball, but we're starting, we're going to be doing a spring training game tomorrow, and I anticipate that we're going to be doing more spring training games as March comes along, and it'll be fun. The cool thing about baseball is that, unlike basketball, I'll be able to have more downtime, and we can talk a little bit more, and we can have more friendly conversations like, you and I can. Not saying that we can't do that in basketball, but it's because of the pace of the game. You got to be careful. And again, the number one goal is to paint the eyes and the ears for the viewers. So, what time tomorrow is the game, JJ? So, all the spring training games are at 1:05. All the spring training games are at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. The link the stream should be on the page, the regular stream and the vertical stream. If you want to, you can copy and paste the regular stream, and that's where we'll be tomorrow at 1:05. I'm not going to be doing every one of them, but I'm thinking, just from the way that people have been talking to me about it, I think that we're going to try to do as many as we can. So, thanks, will do. I appreciate it. I thought JJ was older than that. My bad. No, some people actually think that I'm like 32. I've gotten the comp. Somebody thought that I was what was it when I had my longer beard, when it was what do you call it? When I had a longer beard, people thought that I was like 36, 37. And I was like, yeah, it's time to shave it. So, yeah. So let's talk about that first half, shall we? And the Phillies are playing the O's tomorrow. They are. Yes, they are. JJ has the baseball itch. Yeah, I'm ready to dive back into it, man. Eagles season is done. The Sixers, they are who they are. And I want more juice, And I want more life. And spring training can't disappoint me for baseball, and there's a lot of things to look forward to this year for the Phillies, even from the minor league system. So let's get back to this, though. Okay, so I'm going to go to my monologue screen. I have some things that I want to get off my chest with this basketball team, okay? You probably wouldn't think that I have things on my chest, but I do. So, yeah, shut him down. You know who I'm talking about. Shut him down. Shut him down. I am going to make a sign if I ever go back to the Wells Fargo Center this year, which probably won't be the case, but I am going to literally make a sign that says shut him down. Shut him down, and it's going to have like a little computer monitor that says, do you want to shut down? And I'm going to have like the little mouse on the yes, because what's the point? What is the point? Why are we putting this guy through hell? Why are we putting him through misery when the body language says it all? Today, I'm watching him play out there, and he is a statue on defense. I'm not even saying that it's his fault at this point. Like, just from the body language that I see now, he's not healthy. He hasn't been healthy. He does not look like he's in shape at all. He doesn't trust his knee. He's not jumping. He's taking a lot of threes. It's not rocket science, people. He's taking a lot of threes because he doesn't trust his knee, and he's not dominating down low on the block because he just can't right now. The knee's bothering him. It is clear. And I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not a doctor. I'm not in the medical field, but the eye test tells you everything, and you can just see that he's not jumping. He is limping over on that left side, it seems like at times, and he just does not look comfortable. He's setting a lot of his plays on the perimeter and near the foul line. What is the point of putting him through this misery right now? Paul George, I'm going to say the same thing. And I'm not making excuses for PG because I think that it's more so mental than it is physical with him. But why are we still playing Paul George? What is the point? I know that at the end of the day, money talks. And these guys have to be out there to make money. And I understand that. But if you want to make the best business move for this team moving forward, I stand by what I've been saying for months and months, a couple of months, I'll say. Why are we playing our max players? I don't get it. Can somebody answer for me in the chat? Am I going overboard? Am I being a little bit too extreme? Call me out. Disagree with me. Agree with me. Let me know where you stand. Is it time to shut down Joel Embiid and Paul George? Because I think that all signs are saying yes without a doubt. Yeah, Embiid can't and PG won't, says Hardcore for All. It's time to shut them both down, says Snowman. I'm a Nose fan, sorry. Please go subscribe to Orioles Birdwatcher, BW. If you are a Baltimore Orioles fan, please go subscribe to him because he covers the Orioles. He is really, really good. I agree with you. It's time to shut them down. Yeah, I don't see the point. And I'm going to ask this again. Should Daryl Morey be fired? I'm going to continue to ask that question. Should Daryl Morey be fired? And I think I'm losing patience with Daryl, man. I'm losing a lot of patience with Daryl. I've been a Nick Nurse fan, and yet I see that there is no killer instinct in him now either. And with the way that this team is playing, it doesn't make sense because, how do I put this? It doesn't make sense to play Joel and PG for so many different reasons. And number one is because you invested so much money into these guys and you're stuck. You're stuck. You can't do anything. So you financially made that decision to invest in both of those guys, and because they're here moving forward and they're here to stay, there's no sense of just making it worse than it has to be. McCain's going to be back next year. That'll be nice. We have a chance to get a top 5 pick, which is great. That's an asset. Tanking is not a bad thing. I don't want people to think that losing is such a bad thing. If they actually I'll be honest with you. If they lose this game, part of me says, nice, because it gets them closer to a top pick. Is that the right mindset to have? I don't know. I don't know. As a competitor, I want to win. As a team businessman and as a fan, say yes. I'd say yes. Give the younger guys a chance to develop and have them figure out who's going to be a part of the rotation next year and start this thing over again. That's the best chance that you have. You're not going to do anything this year. If you think that they can just make it into the 10th seed and that they can just breeze their way just into the playoffs, you look foolish. You're on an island. And if you're proven right, good for you. I'm not taking that risk, though. So, that's where I am. I agree with you. It's time to shut him down. Money should never have been brought in. Take Nurse with you, too. Embiid is fine, says Jane. Just needs a little more time and a lollipop. PG is a superstar and runs the offense so well. Give me the Oscar right now. Yeah, his podcast is probably what's going to win the Oscar. He has more podcast uploads than he does points. That stat is always going to stick in my head. That stat, whoever posted that on Twitter, they deserve an Oscar for just tweeting that out. Hi, Grace. How are you, Grace? What's going on? Yeah, I'm with you. To me, we was playing harder without Embiid, so I think that the time has come. I believe that too. I think that we need to figure out who's going to be a part of the rotation next year. And I just think I don't see how it would be bad if we just lost these games. I mean, am I disappointed as a fan? Nothing really is going to make me feel positive about this team because all they've given you is junk. You don't deserve that. You guys have invested your time into watching this team, buying their merchandise, right? You're not even just spending money, you're spending time. You've spent an hour 41 minutes. An hour 41 minutes just tuning into this. I know that you do it because, you care and because you love the Sixers and because you also just, care about me. And some of you came on from a huge raid from On The Go with CeeLo, which is really, really nice, and I am very appreciative of that. But you guys deserve better. You deserve better than this junk. Because that's what this product is. It is junk. And not to go off the rails, but because of what the Phillies did in the offseason, in the back of my mind, I have a similar fear that with what the Sixers have done this year, thinking that it would be so easy for them to just make it into the playoffs if they just were I don't want to say lackadaisical, but with the way that they handled their offseason, thinking that they could just roll into the playoffs and everything would just be fine. I kind of have a fear that the Phillies are going to go through that same thing. I hate to be that guy. I hate to be negative, but that's something that is in the back of my mind. So I am praying to God that that's not how the Phillies operate this year. But with the way that things have ended and with the way that they attacked their offseason, Dave Dombrowski has raised a lot of eyebrows from me. Why do you think I haven't really been talking about them? What's really positive? Not much. But I can go on and on and on. All right, let's go back to the screen. We gained another subscriber. Thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up button. We got 62 concurrent viewers on here. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon too. Yes, I think the Phillies do not beat the Mets or the Braves in the standings. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Embiid doesn't look like himself at all, says Chris. No, he's clearly not. I don't like it when I'm looking at people or when people come onto the channel and they say, he had 32 points the other day. As my man DJ Eastwood would say years ago, and I don't like to steal people's quotes, but I'm quoting this guy. Whenever the comparisons were made from Jokic to Embiid 2 or 3 years ago when it came to the MVP race, a lot of the people who were into analytics loved what Jokic was doing, and he would say, put the calculators down and watch the damn game. And I apply that to this too. Put the numbers down. Don't look at the numbers. Look at it with your eyes and watch what Joel Embiid isn't doing. 63-52 is the score as we go into quarter number 3, and we are underway. All right, so Johnson loses the ball out of bounds. He actually threw it away, and the Sixers will get it back. Joel Embiid goes up for a three-pointer and can't hit it from the top of the key. Another three that he settled for. He's 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. And here we go. Zaire Williams gets it over on the near elbow, bounces it over to Claxton, who's at the nail, and he'll bounce it off over to Claxton again. Claxton goes up for a layup on the left side of the baseline, and he gets it. So it was Johnson who sort of tipped it back over to Claxton at the nail. And now Embiid trying to respond on the other side. He'll kick it back over to Maxey. Maxey back to Embiid. The 5th three-pointer for Joel, and that's off too. Another wide-open three that he just cannot hit, and it's way too short. Absolutely frustrating. Three-point shot, no good by Johnson. He flopped like a dead fish. He wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Embiid to George on the near wing. George drives it inside, kicks it out to Oubre. One more to Grimes for a three-pointer, and George can't come up with the rebound. Keon Johnson stops on a dime out in transition and fakes the dump-off pass and will just distribute it to Claxton. He was going to pass it over to Johnson and just could not do so. And now Johnson has it again at the top of the perimeter. Gets past Oubre, goes up for a floater inside, hits the front of the rim, trickles out towards the right side, but a foul is called. He had 45 as an average of 36 last year, so 32 doesn't really mean anything. Yep. Our first downfall was trade Buddy Hield for a second-round pick and not a nice young player like Moses Moody is shocking. The first downfall is when we paid Paul George. I mean, you can say that, but these, what people fail to understand is that these other, little moves don't matter as much as the big investments. Those things are more so fixable. This is unfixable. Paying Joel Embiid, extending him to that amount of money, knowing that he was unhealthy, that's a huge mistake. And same thing with PG. Those are the two big problems, and they aren't healthy, clearly. That's why you're in this spot. That's the number one reason why you're in this spot. Actually tries to drive it inside, and he is fouled. He'll head to the line to shoot a pair of foul shots. Tyrese Maxey with 15 points in this ball game so far. Doesn't even have a rebound. And he makes the first free throw. 67-53 is the score. Really feel like we should just play Franklin the dog. I missed you, Grace. Foul shot number 2 by Maxey. Good as gold.
Excellent.
Last year was the diehard. This year, this year they're the die soft. You're the die soft this year. You were diehard last year. This year you're die soft. If that's even a word, it's the opposite of diehard. George, step back, three-pointer for the Sixers. Can't get it. Cam Johnson made the little finger roll finish on the other side right before George attempted a three. And it's 69-54. Oubre commits a reach-and foul on defense. And it'll be Brooklyn ball. But I do feel you. Again, if you're tuning in on the vertical too, I appreciate you for coming on here. JJ, the franchise is greedy. I don't blame Daryl for the greed of the owners. We can get into it another time. Embiid drops it off over to Grimes. Grimes with a layup. He puts it up and one. Nice. Grimes, smooth finish. Just at the rim like a snake. And he rattled it in. We got 4 concurrent reviewers on here. That's another thing. Missing too many three-point shots is Stoney. And again, why Embiid is taking the threes is because he doesn't have that lift. And the foul shot, good as gold. Excellent. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. Johnson at the top of the perimeter, dumps it back off over to Claxton. Johnson on the near wing now gets past Maxey, puts up a 2, and Maxey is going to foul Cam Johnson. So who's leading the game in scoring? It's actually Tyrese Maxey, who has 17 points. Maxey is 17. That's a game high. Cam Johnson is 16. Claxton has 13, and Williams has 11. There's a wide open 3 that's no good by Tyrese Martin, and Maxey comes away with the rebound, outlet pass to Quentin Grimes, and another turnover by the Sixers as Maxey's pass was incomplete, like he was a quarterback trying to find a wide receiver. And that was in no man's land, the pass. All right. 14-point ball game with 8:19 left to go. George strips it. George steals it. Maxey out in transition. Off to the races. Lays it up. Can't lay it in. The follow through by Oubre. Can't get that one to go either. Grimes will reset it for the Sixers over on the near wing. Drives it over towards the elbow. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Oubre gets a wide pass. He still has it, though, over at the baseline. Goes up for a 2. Rejected by Claxton. The third try. No good. That was actually the fourth try. So Claxton got the block. Or Cam Johnson, that was. Another three-pointer. That's no good for Brooklyn. They've missed a lot of threes. Maxey got the board for Philadelphia. Grimes to Oubre. Oubre will drive it inside, and he lays it home. It's a 12-point game with 7:40 left in the third quarter. Sixers got to play defense. Grimes, Oubre, Embiid, George, and Maxey all out there for the Sixers. And then Claxton over on the near wing, and we have a foul called away from the ball. And it's on Oubre. Claxton with 13 points and 3 blocks. This is a guy who's, I think he's second in the NBA in blocks. He has been really sharp this year, averaging just 1.5 blocks per game. Maybe not second, but he's easily in the top 5. Claxton will dump it off over to Johnson on the near corner, and they need help. George tries to play good defense, and, well, Johnson gets out and now gets in front of Paul George. He got out of traffic and was able to drive it over towards the rim and shake and bake it as well. Back to a 14-point game. George gets it deflected and volleyballed into the backcourt off the hands of Keon Johnson. George wants a pick from Embiid. They scramble. They find Maxey on the near corner. Embiid's over at the dunker spot. Tries to lay it up and in. Can't get it. Second time. Can't get it either. Claxton, another rebound. Nick Claxton, 6 boards. That's a big difference in this game so far. Another missed shot for Brooklyn. Both teams have gone so cold. Just 10 points for the Nets in this quarter and 9 points for the Sixers, and we're about halfway done. It's just been so bizarre and not a lot of scoring at all. Embiid double-teamed, gives it up to Maxey, who drives it inside, tries to put it up and in. He can't, and Embiid is the one who lays it home. It's back to a 12-point game with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Is Drummond back in? No, he's not here right now. Can I take a message? It's Joel Embiid who's in. Johnson, again, gives it back over to Claxton. A drop-off pass to Cam Johnson. They play a little two-man game. Claxton outside to Johnson again. Johnson parts the Red Sea. Can't get it. Claxton tries to tip it. He can't get it either. Grimes, rebound for the Sixers. Outlet pass over to George on the near wing. George to Maxey. Maxey thought about firing the trigger, and he'll zip it over to Oubre for a three-pointer. Can't bang it in. Grimes volleyballs it to Embiid. Grimes gets it back, puts up a shot. It's blocked again by Nick Claxton. Cam Johnson on the loose. Johnson will try to lay it up and in inside. He got about 3 bounces. He gets the finger roll finish and a timeout called by Philadelphia. My gosh. I mean, it took the last bucket that was scored was about 3 minutes ago, and it finally took Cam Johnson to break the ice. And Nick Nurse has seen enough, and he calls for his 3rd timeout of the game. Ugly, ugly basketball. More boos have come running down, according to Kai Carlin, at the Wells Fargo Center. Hold up 1 second. 1 second. They're mid? Mid? That's a compliment. They're so mid. That's a compliment at this moment in time. That's a compliment. The best thing of the whole game is the way JJ makes the call. I appreciate that. How can you call a game and the team sucks? How many lifts does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. Don't know what that has anything to do with it, but yeah. I don't know. We still treat it like it's a basketball game. It's hard, man. Like, you gotta. In theater, they always taught us, right, that you gotta compartmentalize, right? You're a character. You're a character in a show. Doesn't matter how you're feeling. It's funny because now that I really think about it, I dealt with a lot of anxiety when I was in high school. I got diagnosed with it during sophomore year. And it's the truth. I had it freshman year. I think I had it in 8th grade too. But the moral of the story that I want to get to is that when I did theater, it didn't matter what was going on. My mind knew that when I was a character, whether it was in Hairspray or whether it was in other plays that we did, I was that person. So Jason might feel anxious on the outside, but this character's not anxious. And this character has a job to do. And that's who you are. And so I think that to sort of sum it up and put the two things together, I think that that's what broadcasting sort of is like as well. You know, you take the fan out of yourself and you call it like you see it. Can we get upset? Absolutely. And we sometimes give a little bit of reaction and some emotion, and that's powerful. But when everything's so negative, sometimes you just got to laugh. You know? 75-61 is the score. 5:07 to go. Sixers have a shot clock violation as they come back into play. Ricky counts the fourth. Will step on in for Quentin Grimes. Again, please make sure that you like and subscribe. We have 63 people tuning on in, and not all 63 of you I know have subscribed to Play by Play with JJ. We go on for Sixers, Phillies, and Eagles games. So it's 75-63. George gets the rebound off the miss by Keon Johnson. Here's Maxey, who drives it towards the lane, puts up a shot. It'll go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play. You're doing one city sports, so bring the Philly JJ. Yeah. I mean, I've complained about my frustrations. I can't, like, what else is there to say? I'm running out of things. You know? Running out of things. The many brick threes, the new arena will be built from the new week, man. William McKay, what's going on, Will? All right, Sixers can cut it to a single-digit lead, 75-65, as Maxey's at the line for one more. This is a very long game. It is. The foul shot by Maxey. Swish goes the basketball.
Excellent.
9-point deficit with 4:40 to go in quarter number 3. Claxton back over to Johnson. Gets the ball knocked loose from Council, and Claxton lost it as it goes out of bounds. Sixers ball. 9-point game. Yabusele also just stepped on in for Philadelphia as he comes on in for Embiid, and Yabu will be the one to inbound it over on the near baseline. Actually, sorry, Yabu is in for George. Embiid is still out there. Yay. And Oubre will now inbound it from the near sideline. What's going on? The ref was like, no, Yabu can't inbound it from the baseline. We got to do it from the near sideline. I don't know, but regardless, the Sixers have the ball. Maxey gets the inbound pass, and we play on. Maxey to Yabusele over on the near wing of the three-point line. We'll pass it over to Oubre. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Embiid down low on the block. Puts up a 2. He's fouled. And he'll head back to the charity stripe for another pair of free throws. As a fellow broadcaster, says PAS, I love the teams I cover. Yes, it sucks when they suck, but I would still be watching. Why not share it with my fellow fans? And that is correct. And by the way, there's a timeout called by the Brooklyn Nets, and it was a personal foul by Deron Sharp. It looked like it was in the act of shooting, to be honest with you. But regardless, it's a foul on the floor and a timeout called from Brooklyn, and they'll be back in a flash. Yeah, I understand. I completely understand, man. It's really frustrating, but again, those who've waited, I have this saying that I don't know who created it or whatnot. I can't take credit for it. But those who wait shall receive. It might take the Phillies another 50 years to win a World Series. It's taken the Philadelphia 76ers 23 years to make it back to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's taken them over 40 years to make it back to win a championship. But guess what? I still do it because at the end of the day, I love sports. And I support this team no matter what. I might disagree with them at times. But when the good times come, people tend to forget this. When the good times do come, and they might not, but when it does come, you'll always remember the bad years, and the bad years won't outweigh that one nice moment that you have. When I saw the Eagles win this year, I finally thought, you know what? I finally got to see something happen. I wasn't there in 2008 for the parade. I wasn't there in 2018 for the parade. And I wasn't really invested in the Eagles then. I wasn't. But I got invested, and it made me realize, well, damn, this was really special. And out of all the bad years, Sam Bradford, right? We could talk about, like, Michael Vick. We could talk about so many different eras of Eagles football. And finally, in 17-18, they won that thing. But that was sort of, getting hot at the right time. This was more like their most complete season that they ever had. And it was really special to be able to witness that. We've had a lot of fun in those 2 years. No, for sure. Like, there's highs and there's lows, for sure. There's peaks and valleys, as they always say. But I think that, personally, the good times outweigh the bad. But that's just me. That's my perspective on it. Other people have their own perspective. And that's cool. I don't want people to have the same philosophy as me. That's boring. Don't always agree with me. 4.7 seconds left on the shot clock. So there was no foul. There was a coach's challenge, and Tyrese Maxey will inbound it for the Sixers. Embiid gets it over on the block, gets it poked loose and stolen from Nick Claxton as Embiid is down on the hardwood. 4-on-5 basketball. Another three-pointer for Brooklyn. No good. Claxton tries to tip it in, and he can't get it. The Nets have not scored in like 3 minutes, at the very least. They haven't scored in a very long time. Here's Embiid rolling towards the rim. Puts up a 2. Got it. No foul was called. The refs did chew the whistle, and it's a 7-point game now with 3.5 minutes to go. Ugly basketball between the both of these teams, and yet we still have another full quarter to go after this. It's been a very wonky, goofy game between the both of these teams. Martin outside on the perimeter. The Nets go from right to left. A foul line, Jay, by Tyrese Martin. It's short, but finally trickles in. And we have a foul called on the Sixers as well. Tyrese Martin with a 17-foot pull-up J off of the assist by Daron Sharp. Mark says, Flyers, it's been 50 years. That's right. That is absolutely right. You're not wrong when you're right. 77-68. So it was a loose ball foul on Daron Sharp. Counsel in the game for the Sixers. Embiid gets it again on the nail. He's double-teamed. Finds Counsel. Counsel to Oubre for a 3. Can't get it. And a rebound by Claxton, or Beekman, that is. It was Beekman. Beekman got the board. Nets have Watford, Wilson, Sharp, Martin, and Beekman in there. Watford throws it away. Counsel with a steal. Oubre on the drive towards the rim. Parts the Red Sea and throws it down. Time out for Brooklyn with 2.5 minutes to go in quarter number 3. What a play. Embiid said, get that thing out of here, as he denied Trendon Watford. Over to the rim. Counsel got the rebound, and Oubre out in transition was a freight train, and he said, look out below. Okay. Oh, boy. Again, it's been dude, this game has been 2 hours. Like, what time did this game start? This game started at, what, 7:10? Like, this is a long basketball game. I'm not, like, even joking. There have been a lot of fouls. There have been, I don't know. It's just been slow. I think you mean Black Steel. If you guys have not done so already, again, I advise you to hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button as well. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. We're on our way, baby. Oh, the game started at 7:30. Oh, you're right. You're right. It still feels like it's a long game. Yeah, you're right. Wow. It still feels long. It does. It does, man. All right, so the Nets have the rock. Watford dumps it back off to Beekman. Here's Daron Sharp, who goes downhill, puts it up over Embiid, and knocks it down. They call it 79-70, and Watford gets issued a technical foul for the trash talking. And we will have a free throw coming up. This is just what makes the NBA a different product nowadays. Because even just talking trash can get you a T. The free throw by Maxey. He got it to go. We'll take it.
Excellent.
The Lakers, they lead to 44-36 in the second quarter with 8:50 to go in the first half. 2:20 left remaining in this game in the third quarter. Maxey got the inbound pass, dribbles towards the right side, goes downhill, kick out to Embiid. Embiid for 3, tried to bank it in, no good. Yabusele, offensive rebound, throws it over to Maxey. 2 minutes to go. And Maxey back to Embiid again. Joel with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in this game. He loses the ball. Watford with a steal. Watford tries to go downhill, dumps it back off over to his teammate Johnson, and Johnson lays it up and in. 10-point game now. with about a minute and 40 seconds to go in the third frame. Sixers have been so bad against the zone that Brooklyn has provided on defense. Maxey's trapped again. Throws it over to Council. One more to Yabusele for a near corner three. Bullseye! This is why Yabusele deserves a big contract. And he's finally getting some minutes. Guerschon Yabusele came from overseas, played with the Boston Celtics once upon a time, and then only played with them for about a couple of years, and then went overseas, and then finally got a contract because of the block and the play that he had in the Olympics on LeBron James, and he has been balling out and has been the best player on the Sixers this season. Not even close. Here's a two by Kelly Oubre. He got it to go. The Nets did hit a bucket on the other side. It's 83-76. Got a little bit distracted. Watford on the drive to the basket. Right-handed finish. Can't get it. Rebound by Sharp, and they'll reset it again at the top of the key. 35 seconds to go, 10 on the shot clock. Watford on the drive, over Yabusele. Euro step, it's blocked by Yabu, and Yabu will reset it for the Sixers. 6 seconds separating the shot clock from the game clock. Maxey in no particular hurry. It's only a 7-point game, and it feels like the Sixers should be down by 25. Maxey over at the Wells Fargo Center sign. He tries to get a foul call, could not do so, puts up a three-pointer, no. And he was not set at all. Good defense by the Nets. Claxton to Watford, pump fake, and he stepped out of bounds and traveled as well. And Sixers will get the ball back with 2.1 seconds to go. Yabu has not been good since he tweaked his knee a few weeks ago. He gives it his all, though, man. Like, there's no doubt about it. He gives it everything he has, and he's a better option right now than what they have at center. I'm still banking on him. And a Dembona. Oubre will inbound it over to Maxey. Maxey with a half-court prayer. He puts it up, and it's a little bit short. And that'll wrap up quarter number 3. The fourth frame coming on up in just a few moments. Sixers down 83-76. Tyrese Maxey leading the way with 21 points in this game so far. And now it is time for Philadelphia 76ers trivia. I'm going to ask you a Sixers trivia question, and if you get it right, you will hear this. If you get it wrong, you will hear this. Okay. So today, as we mentioned before, and again, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. Let's go to the monologue screen for a second. We mentioned before, if you were not tuning in, we said that today was Dr. J's 75th birthday. And so in honor of his birthday, I want to know this question, okay? Where did Dr. J play before coming into the NBA? What was the team called in the ABA? Or sorry, he won 3 scoring titles with this team. But what was the team called? It was not the Nets. What was the ABA team that he played for? Is what I want to know. Grace, thank you so much. 30 seconds to go. 15 seconds. 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.5, 1.25. The Virginia Squires, that is correct. He played with the Virginia Squires from 1970 to 1976, and he won 3 scoring titles with them. They were based in Norfolk, Virginia, and they were originally called the Oakland Oaks from 1967 to 69, and then they were the Washington Caps for one season. And then, of course, the Virginia Squires from 1970 to 1976. So, yes, the Virginia Squires is correct. Good job. Good job. 83 to 76 as quarter number 4 is underway. Maxey over at the top of the key gives it over to Paul George on the near corner. Step back, three-pointer for PG. It was contested, no good. Yabusele, offensive rebound. Nice effort by him. He'll zip it back over to Maxey. He fakes a three, drives it towards the lane, gets it stripped, and we have a foul called on Brooklyn. I mean, Maxey was sort of scratching and clawing over towards the basket, and he has been getting a lot of attention now. He really has. I mean, the Nets are sort of getting away with murder because of how they've blitzed them. And we actually have a jump ball over at the Sixers foul line. And let's see who wins this battle. It'll be Maxey going up against Myers. There's an outlet pass over to Johnson on the fast break, and Johnson throws it down with two hands. That was a nice tip and an unlucky bounce for the Sixers that just got away from them, and Johnson saw a lot of daylight. Paul George driving towards the rim, puts up a little runner, and he finally gets one to go. So Paul George with 9 points and 6 rebounds in this matchup so far. He's played good on the defensive side, just not a lot of scoring, which has been the case throughout pretty much this whole entire season for PG. Now he wants to try to go up against Jalen Wilson, and they'll dump it back off over to Day'Ron Sharpe. Watford kicks it out to Johnson for 3, and the shot clock was winding down, and Cam Johnson ice cold from beyond the arc again. He was 1 for 6 against the Sixers from downtown in his last game. Grimes loses it, and it goes into the backcourt, and that's a backcourt violation on Quentin Grimes. So he was being defended by Killian Hayes, and Hayes deflected it off of his right shoe, and it went into the backcourt, and the Nets will have possession as we've only played about a minute and a half in this fourth quarter. 7-point game, drop-off pass to Watford, and it's Claxton who gets it again at the top of the perimeter. Here's Watford for a step-back foul line. Jay, short and far right as well. Maxey gets it. Maxey wants to dance. He goes towards the elbow. He spins. He turns. He gives it back to Yabusele. A near corner three. Way too strong. And another board by Brooklyn. 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Euro step by Watford, and he kisses it goodbye. He got it to go. Swish goes the basketball. 9-point game. In Philadelphia, Council to Grimes. Grimes to Maxey. Maxey to Council. Wide open near wing three. Short again. And goes out of bounds as well. And it'll be Brooklyn ball. The Sixers and the Nets have not shot the ball well at all today. The Nets are 5 for 23 from 3. The Sixers are 7 for 32. That means that there have only been 12 threes in this game and 55 combined threes from the both of these teams. Grimes with a steal, goes cherry picking, down low, and throws it down with the right hand. 7-point game with 9:20 to go in the fourth quarter. They trap the backcourt, the Sixers that is. George playing good defense, strips it, and they don't call backcourt violation yet. I mean, that took a little bit more than 8 seconds, I thought. And nonetheless, we play on. George tries to play defense. There's a shot that goes up and in, and Watford got it. I mean, he was in the backcourt for at least 10 seconds, according to my counting. But again, whatever. It's a 9-point lead for Brooklyn. Yabusele down low on the block. He's double-teamed, and he retains possession, fights through contact, and he's fouled. Lonnie Walker doesn't get any minutes in this second half. That's also sort of puzzling to me as well. I don't understand that at all whatsoever. John's here. John! Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icons. Jacob Marino says, I've stopped trying to understand. Oh, what a laughing stock. Yabu with the free throw. The first one, he gets it to trickle in. It was foul line right, and it just went down the drain. Hello, everyone. Hello to you. We got our first Phillies game tomorrow. Spring training. We are doing it for the first time in play-by-play with JJ history. We are doing a spring training game to see how it goes. Yabu, second foul shot. Friendly roll.
Excellent.
It's back to a 7-point ball game with 8:43 left to be played in the fourth quarter. All right. Got to play defense. Lock them up. Quentin Grimes trying to play good D over Cam Johnson at the top of the perimeter. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Johnson with a three-pointer. No good. And rebound by Yabu. Good effort by Quentin Grimes on the defensive side for the Sixers again. George drives it through the lane. Layup is good. 5-point game. Timeout called by Brooklyn. Let's go. This is what we're getting excited for. We're battling for the 10th seed. How are we? I'm sorry, but how are we 20-35? We're 15 games under 500, and we're battling for a 10th seed. We're battling for the final spot at this play-in tournament. It's funny because the Kings are 500 in the Western Conference, and they're the 10th seed. And meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, the Bulls are 13 games under 500, and they're the 10th seed. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay. It's just, what a season, man. This is just another one to, like, write into the books, you know. 5-point game, 89-84 with 8:13 left in the fourth quarter. This team is so confusing. We're battling to score 100 each night. I don't even care about the Sixers. I literally just feed off of JJ's grace. It's just, yeah. And look, if we win, I got to play the song. It doesn't matter what you think should happen. You know, win is a win. Do you want to have a yellow star? Subscribe. It's so rewarding. It absolutely is. Again, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button as well, and turn on the bell icons, and that way you'll know when we go live. If you're a Phillies fan, if you're a Sixers fan, if you're an Eagles fan, or if you're just a sports fan, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of fun on here. We really do. It's great. 5-point game with 7:53 to go. The Nets put up 20 points in the third quarter. The Sixers put up 24 in the third, and so far it's been 8-6 in the fourth quarter. Advantage for Philadelphia. The Nets have possession. All right, 89-84. Yabusele blocks it and denies Johnson going to the rim. George for three for the Sixers. All rise. No good. Yabu, another offensive rebound. George will reset it. He steps back. Another three by PG, and that's a little bit strong. PG had two chances to try to get the fans up on their feet and could not do so from beyond the arc. Oh, that's just crazy. Claxton almost lost the ball. And he gets it over towards the top of the key, and, well, Claxton actually gets called for an illegal screen off the dump-off pass to Williams, and the Sixers can make it a one-possession ball game. They were down by as many as 17 points. And, well, they can come crawling back from the dead. Oubre with a slam downhill. Yabusele over to Maxey, and Maxey with the binoculars, and Oubre celebrates, and another timeout called by Brooklyn again. What a pass by Maxey. And Oubre feeling himself flexing the muscles. John, you did this. This is your doing. Gershon Yabusele, you are a stud. Gershon Yabusele is making the difference in this game. He is just unbelievable. He's getting so many rebounds now. He has 7 boards. They're where they are now because he has 7 rebounds. He came on in, providing that spark, and he had 2 blocks and a steal. His defense and his rebounding have given the Sixers what the doctor has ordered, and that is life. That is life. He's given them a pulse. He should start every game. I've been saying it, man. Nobody wants to listen to me. That's why I'm here also, Grace. I love the chat and I love JJ. But Gershon Yabusele he's the reason why I'm a Sixers fan, because he embraces what it takes to be a Philadelphia athlete. He gets it. He understands it. He goes out there, he chirps, he does the dirty work, he plays good defense, he gets in your face, and he's just a pesty mother father. Thought I was going to curse. A mother father. That's what he does. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. My family lived on 2nd and Greenwich for over 100 years. I bleed for Philly. I agree. All right, Oubre tries to get the steal. Grimes deflects it off the hands of Johnson, and Johnson still gets possession. That was Keon Johnson over to Cam Johnson again. Watford at the top of the key. 3-point game. And Claxton at the top of the perimeter now. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Good defense by Yabu. They get it stripped. Claxton has to throw it, and he steps out of bounds. Sixers ball again. And they will get it back, and they can tie the game for the first time with a 3, or cut the deficit to 1 with a 2. Claxton stepped on the red line as he tried to save it from going out of bounds. He most certainly did. And the Sixers can tie it here. George with a bounce pass to Yabusele. Still no Embiid back. Just wanted to mention that. Yabu throws it over to Maxey, and Maxey's at the top of the key. Maxey wants to dance. He takes it down the lane, floats it up, and it was too strong of a finish. A lot of contact, though, and the whistles again remain silent. Nets got the rebound. We're almost halfway done. The fourth quarter, 89-86. Keon on the near wing as the Nets go from right to left again. Watford gets past Yabusele, and the layup is good. And one as well. He silences the crowd off of that nice Euro step and the left-handed scoop. And just found a little bit of daylight as well past Gershon. He actually finished with the right hand on the left side. I mean, he just I don't know how he did it, but he did. And the free throw is good. And it's back to a 2-possession ball game. All right. 1 timeout left for the Brooklyn Nets, 3 for the Sixers. George wants to dump it off over to Grimes. Another dump-off pass to Maxey. A lot of dump-off passes again for the Sixers. Maxey on the drive to the basket. Scoops and scores. 4-point game. 5:52 left to go. We're riding the seesaw. The Sixers and the Nets. It's going to be a strong finish. Who will take the crown in this game? Watford at the foul line goes up for a runner. Got it to go. Heavily contested. And the ball bounced 3 times and just went down the bowl. 94-88. Grimes on the near elbow. And he steps. He takes 3 steps and travels. And another turnover by the Sixers. We got to play defense. Yes, we do. That nice layup by Maxey. Give Tyrese Maxey in this game 23 points. 94-88. Oubre trying to lock down Watford. And Watford is trapped. He throws it back to Johnson. Deflected by George. And stolen by Abu. Nice play by PG. Maxey at the top of the perimeter. Dumps it off to Grimes. And here's Paul George. All eyes on him. George goes up with a 2. Got it to go. Heavily contested. And an acrobatic shot by PG. 4:50 left remaining and still no Embiid. Yabu gets the steal. Grimes outlet pass to Maxey. Lamp is up. Goaltending called on Brooklyn. And a foul as well. Count it. 94-92. All right. So no foul was called there. Scratch that. I thought that they whistled for a foul too. They did not. So scratch that. Don't take the word for it. Nets out on offense again. Claxton with the face mask on. He got it. Yeah, he does have the mask on. Not a face mask. It's just a Phantom of the Opera mask. Yabusele fights for the loose ball on the ground. Who has it? It'll be a jump ball. Keon Johnson was diving on the ground as he lost it, and Yabusele tried to wrestle with him and tug the basketball, and we will have a jump ball. It was actually Cam Johnson on the ground with Yabusele, and George tried to help him too. So here is a big jump ball here for the both of these teams. The refs are going over towards the scorer's table. Yabusele dripping with a lot of sweat, putting his blood, sweat, and tears out there for the Sixers. Grimes is getting his elbow checked out. He has a little bit of blood coming out. And we have sort of a timeout taken because of Grimes getting checked out here. And Nick Nurse wants to draw up a play while he can. I've never understood, if he's bleeding, it gives him a free timeout. I don't really like that. That's just for any basketball team, All right, 94-92. Yabusele versus Johnson. Who will win the jump ball at the Nets foul line? 4:27 to go. Yabusele tips it. Oubre volleyballs it into the hands of Yabusele, and he got elbowed in the nose. Sixers fans on their feet. Gershon Yabusele getting a standing ovation at the Wells Fargo Center for A-plus effort tonight. Wow. And Oubre, too, did a good job at recognizing where the ball was going to land. George will inbound it to Maxey. Sixers can tie it with a 2 or take the lead with a 3. 4:15 to go. Maxey's blitzed. He needs help. He'll bounce it to Grimes. Grimes for 3 for the lead. Yes! Oh, yes, baby! 95-94, the first lead of the game. Claxton on the drive, rejected by Paul George, right at the rim. 3:55 to go. And the Sixers have Maxey over at the logo. George with the screen. Maxey steps over towards the right side, drives it towards the hoop, puts up a two, can't get it. Oubre with the putback jam, and he smiles. 97-94, 3:30 left to go, and it is madness at the Wells Fargo Center in downtown Philadelphia. All right, Johnson over at the top of the key, drives it towards the lane, kicks it out. Cam Johnson for three, swish, he got it. Oh, he got it from the far corner and went falling down like a domino. Tie game. Maxey again dribbles towards the right side. Timeout called by Nick Nurse. And the Sixers will be back in just a few moments. Let's go. Let's go, baby. It is a new game. Dude, we play the Nets and we play the Bulls for this 10th seed. It's like it's laughable to me. But you know what? I love when Yabusele is giving effort out there. And he is the reason why they are where they are in this game. And yet, you know what the funny part is? There's no Joel Embiid. Nick Nurse did not put Embiid in. And there's 3 minutes to go. Why? Why would you put him in? Why would you put him in? What is the point of putting him in now? Grimes with a huge three. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. This guy's a keeper. This guy is a keeper. George will inbound it for the Sixers. Fasten the seatbelts. 3:08 left to go in the fourth quarter. Maxey gets the inbound pass. Maxey to Grimes at the top of the key. Backs up towards the logo. He's getting ready to fire. He hands it off to Maxey. Maxey, ISO three-pointer. Yes, sir! Tyrese Maxey from 28 feet, and Ricky Council with the bow and arrow celebration on the sideline. Sixers got to play defense. Here's a drive by Watford. He puts it up, he puts it in, and he cries wolf to the ref. He wanted a foul call. He does get back on defense, and he's still chirping at the ref. 2:35 to go. Maxey, the closer, 28 points for him in this game. 5 assists and 2 rebounds as well. Here's Grimes again over on the perimeter. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Grimes at the elbow. He's looking for help. 4 seconds left. Maxey, a burst of lightning. Finds Yabusele. Yabu for 3. It's a little bit short, and it's rebounded by Brooklyn. 2:10 to go. 1 point game, 100-99 with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And we are coming down to the wire. Sixers trying to end a 6-game losing streak. Watford on the near wing, being heavily guarded by Kelly Oubre Jr. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Watford gets the ball not to loose, but he still has possession. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. A 3 goes up, and it's good. It's 102-100. Watford got it. He got it. 1:45 left to go. Sixers cannot take the foot off the gas pedal if they want to win this game. Grimes again on the perimeter. Dumps it back off to Maxey. And he's at the logo conducting the traffic. Grimes on the perimeter again on the far wing for 3 for the lead. No good. And another rebound by Trendon Watford. And the Nets are in no particular hurry. Want to just milk the clock down. 1:20 left to go. Sixers have 2 timeouts. The Nets have 1. 1:15 now, and Keon Johnson gets the matchup he wants on Tyrese Maxey. Maxey with a block, and Johnson still has possession. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Watford for 2. He puts it up, and he's fouled from behind. That was Claxton who got fouled over at the foul line. And I didn't really see a lot of contact there, to be honest with you. That looked like Claxton was flopping like a dead fish. Ay, ay, ay. Good defense by Tyrese Maxey on Keon Johnson. I was thinking they were going to call that a foul. They did not, and that was the right call. And Kelly Oubre literally just touched Claxton right on the waist. And honestly, if he did mean the foul, that's a smart foul because Claxton's not a good foul shooter. The first foul shot, too strong. All right, brickin' for chicken, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. That means 3 free Chick-fil-A McNuggets if Claxton misses the second foul shot. The second free throw, he got it to go. Swish. 103-100. All eyes on Tyrese Maxey with 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter. George to Maxey again. Dribbles towards the right side. Goes down the lane. Dump ball fast to Oubre. Almost lost it. Gets it denied and rejected. And stolen as well by Claxton. He got it, man. 48 seconds to go. He wanted a foul call. He did not get it. And it'll be Watford who just holds on to the ball. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. He's at the top of the key. Grimes guarding Watford now. He wants to try to size him up. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Watford hesitates. Kicks it out. A three-pointer for the dagger. And that is no good. Grimes gets the rebound. Sixers still have life. 25 seconds to go. George to Maxey for the tie. He got it. Tyrese Maxey. Oh, what a shot that was by Tyrese. It was on the near corner. Got to get back on defense. 103-103. 15 seconds to go. Shot clock unplugged. Watford again over at the logo. 10 seconds to go. And now Oubre tries to play defense on Watford. Oubre, 4 seconds left. Watford outside the Johnson for the walk-off. No! The tip back gets up and it's good. Did he get it off? I think he did. Claxton got it on the offensive rebound and tipped it up and in. And that is the walk-off tip back. It's 105-103 is the final score. He got it. What a play by Claxton. Nobody could box him out, and the Sixers fans are stunned. Let's see. Johnson tried to go up with a three, and Claxton got it off with about 2/10 of a second. He did. Wow. Oh, my goodness. A walk-off buzzer beater off of a tip back from Nick Claxton. It went in and out, the three by Keon Johnson, and Claxton was able to just put it up and say goodnight to Philadelphia. A heartbreaker for the 76ers. And the Nets are celebrating in Philadelphia as Claxton is huddled by his teammates. Wow. What a game. He got it off with 2/10 of a second to go. Wow. That's crazy. So, that's how the ball game ends. 105-103. Brooklyn escapes with a victory. That is wild. 23 points for Cam Johnson. He's the player of the game. And, you know, Joel Embiid sat for the whole entire fourth quarter. Crazy as that is. And how are we feeling in the chat, folks? Are we mad about this? I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. That's wild, though. That was a wild finish. We can talk about X's and O's of this game, but this was honestly, this was a fun game to just call and just, you know, be a part of it. I thought that this was actually an exciting game that the Sixers provided for us. But what went wrong in this game? That first half is why we lost. The first half is why we lost. We can talk about what didn't happen at the end. Maxey gave it everything he had. Grimes gave it everything he had. Yabusele gave it everything that he had. But yet, Joel Embiid was a minus out there tonight. And at this point again, I'm going to say it again. Shut him down, man. Just stop playing him, man. It doesn't make any sort of sense. Oubre played 38 minutes. Tyrese Maxey played 43 minutes tonight and gave you 31, 5, and 2. Was Tyrese Maxey great? No. But Tyrese Maxey was clutch. Again, when he had to be. You can win with Tyrese Maxey and build a team around him. Paul George gave you 15 points in 40 minutes and 7 rebounds. Not good enough. Oubre did Oubre things, but my gosh, Andre Drummond was a minus out there for you in 5 minutes of play. David Roddy gets playing. I mean, like, Council and Lonnie Walker, like, they put them in a little bit earlier, they probably win this game. That's the truth. Like, the Nets battled through the end, and I give them credit, but Joel Embiid, I think him and Paul George going 1 for 12 from 3 is what killed you. Really. I hate to say it, but we ... Yes. What's up, Joe Soreski? How are you? What's going on? Yeah, they don't know how to box out. Won by a nose. It was a horse race. If we are trying to get last place, then we are on the right track, says Mark Kavitsky. Yeah, I'm not really upset about this. It was a good game. If they're trying to get the 10 seed, then yeah, it's upsetting. But I'm not. I look at this and I'm just like, well, the way that I'm looking at these games now, I'm not thinking about playoffs. I'm not thinking about playing tournament. I'm watching these guys to see what do we have for the future. And I'll tell you this, Quentin Grimes is a baller. This guy just understands how to get a bucket. 16, 7, and 4. And he gave you 2 steals. He made a difference. When they went to Yabusele and Grimes off the bench in the fourth quarter to start things off, that was what gave them the burst. That's when they played faster. They played quick. When you're with Joel Embiid out there on one knee, you're so limited. You're so slow. You're playing 5-on-4 basketball, and I'm not, like, judging Joel here. I'm just saying that he's not healthy. He's not. He doesn't look good at all. He looks so out of it, man. He looks like he's hurt, and it makes you cringe. So, my positive today, we can talk about negatives. There's some negatives that I have, but Quentin Grimes, this guy's good. This guy's really good. And Daryl Morey had a nice trade there. I like the trade for Quentin Grimes. Does that make up for the signing of Paul George? Does that make up for some of the other things that he did in the offseason to get Kyle Lowry, to get Eric Gordon, and get a lot of these older guys like Caleb Martin? No. No, it doesn't. But Quentin Grimes is pretty good, and I like what he's able to do. Council was a +7 in 9 minutes, and I know he didn't have any points, but, again, the athleticism was what made them quicker. They needed bodies to try to get rebounds. I think Claxton got into some foul trouble, if I'm not mistaken. What do you have? No, it wasn't Claxton. I'm sorry. Keon Johnson got into some foul trouble, and they went to a more athletic guard. So, yeah. I told you to take the Nets. I said that they could easily cover the spread. I did say that. I was right. But 110-100 was my final score. They won 105-103. Still believe in play-by-play with JJ, man. Not mad, glad 76ers gave it a fight. Yeah, I'm not really mad either. Like, what really is there to be mad about? Are we Are we upset if they don't get the 10 seed? Are we upset if they don't get into the play-in tournament? I'm really not. I'm really not. I hate being that guy. I hate being that. I hate being that way. I don't like it. But reality is settled in for me. If we get in and we make noise, great. If we don't get in, and I'm just looking at these guys now like they've changed the whole entire bar. Yabusele, 2 blocks, 3 steals, 23 minutes. Again, if you wanted to win this game, you play him and you start him. Simple as that. No inside presence. None. None from Joel Embiid. Nope. And as soon as Yabusele came in, the defense changed. And it's funny because Yabusele is not even like a good rebounder, not even a good defender, but he tries. He gives it his A+ effort out there. He just does. But yeah, that played a big difference. Nick Claxton just won the game for the Nets at the buzzer. The player grades following that loss to the Nets is Kai Carlin. Let's take a look at his player grades. Let's take a look. Tyrese Maxey gets an A from him today. I don't give Tyrese Maxey an A because I'm harsh on him now. Maxey, did he finish strong? He did. Did he have a good first half? No. And I know what he's capable of. And that's a compliment to him. I'll go with a B- for Tyrese Maxey today. Quentin Grimes, a B. I agree with that. We'll start off first with Tyrese Maxey. What would be your grade for Tyrese Maxey? Really good call. You make some other play callers look like they're again. Thanks, Jane. I appreciate it. Really, I appreciate that. Grades for Tyrese Maxey in the chat. Give me a letter grade. I'm going with a B- today. Kai says, if it weren't for Maxey, the Sixers would have been down by much more if it weren't for Maxey. He knocked down triples in the early going to keep them afloat. He did. I agree with that. He stepped up and literally threw the team on his back. I think that in the fourth quarter, Quentin Grimes and Yabusele were making a huge difference, and then it was Tyrese Maxey who took on over. And unfortunately, because they didn't have the last possession, they just couldn't get a stop. Jane goes with a B. A C. He should have done more from the beginning. Yeah, I think that during the second and then the third quarter, he was really quiet, and he could not make his wide open threes, and he was missing those. Quentin Grimes, I'll give him a B today. Grades for Grimes, I'll actually give him a B+. Played really good defensively. Again, like you're talking about a guy who the expectations for him are to just develop, right? Like he's not a superstar player yet because he's still finding who he is as a player. So I'll give him a B+, but what are your letter grades for Quentin Grimes? If Tyrese wants to be his team, he really has to step it up. Yeah. I understand the argument that there's only so much that he can do, but he has to hit his shots. And we know that he's capable of doing that. So that's why we're harsh on him. Because we know. We know. Did he make big-time shots at the end of the game? He did. But if he wants to be great, which I know he can be, got to be better. Akai also gave Kelly Oubre a B. I'm going to go down and give him a C+. My man got into some foul trouble. And I love what Kelly Oubre brings you. But I thought that he was pretty reckless in that first half. And although, again, he stepped up in the fourth quarter, they just, like, that first half really did say a lot. Like, if they don't come out flat, they win this game. If Joel Embiid just plays a lick of defense, they win this game. Paul George, B-. What? You're bugging. George found himself in a rhythm, he says. Please go check out SixersWire.com, too. Kai does a really good job. I just disagree with this. With the Nets focusing so much on Maxey and Embiid, it gave the opportunity for George to catch a bit of a groove and give the Sixers something on the offensive end of the floor. With that being said, outside of that little stretch, there wasn't much from Paul George until the fourth quarter. So, again, we're giving him a B- when he's a superstar player. Like, that's being too nice, man. All right. And then Embiid, he gives him a C+. I'm going out, and I'm giving Joel Embiid an F. And not all of it is his fault at this point. It's just, that's more so of the organization right now. A reflection of the organization as to why Embiid gets the F, in my opinion. He just shouldn't be out there. He doesn't look good at all. I'm watching Nick Claxton just go to the rim, and Embiid just can't jump. Like, he's having a hard time just bending and getting up. It's terrible. And he's trying. I know he is. It's just banged up. All right. I do want to see what Nick Nurse has to say. I do. Nurse said, quote, he liked what he saw from that group in the fourth quarter, so he kept Joel on the bench. He commended Embiid for giving them what he can amid the injuries. He liked what he saw from the group in the fourth quarter, so he kept Joel Embiid on the bench. Bro. Give me the monologue screen. I'm sorry. So you're telling me that Nick Nurse has the audacity to bench Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter in this game. But yet, when they're playing, let's go back a game. Who did they last play? Who did they play in their last game? Refresh my memory because all these losses have come so fast. It's 124 to 104. That's what they lost against Boston. My man plays 27 minutes, gives you 15 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. And he played 7 minutes. I remember specifically 7 minutes in that fourth quarter. Why do you Why do you play him in that game in the fourth quarter for 7 minutes? And in this game, you feel like you have to bench him. Like, I don't know, like, is that like not rocket science to you guys? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? He has the audacity to do it in this game in the fourth quarter, but why not in the Boston game when they're down, even just heading into the fourth quarter? Like, you know that the game is pretty much over. It's 100 to to 72. It's 100 to 72, right? 72, 80, 100. The math, 56. It's 100 to 76. Why is he playing in the fourth quarter? Crazy. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get Nick Nurse. I don't get this franchise. Don't get this team. But I find that to be really funny. Nick Nurse said, also according to Paul Hedrick, he wanted to see Yabu at the 4. Not sure why that didn't happen in the first quarter, but that was the explanation. Weird. I will say that him benching Joel Embiid was a surprise. I kind of was surprised about it, but I'm wondering why in this game and not in the Boston game or the game before that. You know? I would just like an explanation for that. All right. Well, that is it for me. I'm going to be on tomorrow. I will see you all at 12:45. We will be doing a spring training game. Again, thank you so much to On The Go with CeeLo, all the people that stopped by, and thank you all for still rocking with me, man. I really appreciate it. All right, Lala Tov. Good night, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow. Go Phillies.